That's good. There we go. I don't think I'll share the stream today. People already know I'm gonna be here. Wait for people to get in, though. Although, actually, wait, I do gotta share the stream on YouTube itself. Hey, Darku, how you doing, man? My god, it is unironically frustrating seeing some of the comments I've seen under that interview that I did with Dystopia. Like, Jesus Christ. that is part of why I am streaming today, to chill out. Doing great, have had some cool combos about the Valkyrie stuff. Nice. Yeah, like, some of the stuff I've seen surrounding that conversation, especially from some of the people that I've seen being talked to, it's just... I don't know anymore. I don't know. I did not sound like an ass and... Sound like an ass in the text form. Oh god, that's funny. Oh man. Yeah, I just don't know how to approach this conversation anymore because I'm trying to put all the facts out and how if things are realistically, at least in my opinion, going to go with that rework. And I just get told, oh, hey, go play Lord of the Night. I'm like, motherfucker, I don't even like Valkyrie. I'm doing this because I think it's right to defend her, not because I fucking like the invincibility, necessarily. Like, I think it's the best thing ever. Like, so many of the problems they had were, like, Garuda's right there, and we don't have... Well, the problem... Like, Darku, I get what you mean, man, but I still feel that you just can't compare the two, because although they're similar, they're not the same. I don't know, man. Like, it's just... It's a whole thing. Like, I get people... Not everyone's gonna agree with you. I get that. But, like, some of the comments I've seen under that video just genuinely makes me wonder, how did you pass elementary school? With some of those comments and those kinds of attitudes. I really think they will feel like a similar case. Possibly. Like, again, Darku, and I bring it up in the interview, we don't know until we get our hands on her. Well, Warframe is baby frame, so maybe they have yet to get there. True. Hey, Exobot, how you doing? Yeah, I don't know. This whole thing is just so... Like I said, I just genuinely question the intelligence of people sometimes. What's a good weapon? Swap to this. That's good. Well, let me turn the music down slightly. There we go. That's better. Don't want to hurt my ears too much. Okay, so we got some weapons. We got these. I think I'm actually going to switch back to my Falcor for a little bit. Like, and if it gets too bad, they have so many easy fixes, like just to do get fates at 50% or life see it back to the 4, or even add a DR to it like Baruch. It's so many easy fixes. I mean, yes, but the problem is, like, no offense, Okaru, I just don't think they have the intelligence, well, not necessarily the intelligence, but the insight to make those kinds of fixes. I'm doing fine, stressing a bit, but it's fine. How about... I'm doing okay, Exobot. Like... I am starting to regret dipping my toe into the whole Valkyrie rework discussion. Let's just put it at that. Like, that discussion is becoming a whole clusterfuck, in my opinion. Both for her rework and everything surrounding it. Some of them do is just the flies around that stops it. That's a funny way of putting it. Alright, let us... I'm gonna go solo for this for now. I'm just annoyed she's losing her immortality, that's it. Want to do some Cascade. In a bit, Darku, I want to first complete some of these dailies real quick, and then I'll drag you into a call and we can do it. Want to get my steel essence first, and I also wouldn't mind doing a Cascade, mainly to just test some things.
Distract the infested while a lone Tenno operative hunts for supplies. Set off the alarms to start.
These. Okay, that's pretty funny. I like that emote.
The emergency life support I am delivering is your only chance for survival.
Yeah, like, my opinion, Exobot, about the changes is, I'm not so much against the invincibility part in its entirety being removed. It's the fact that what we're getting, the alternative, is just terrible. Like, objectively terrible. At least from how I see it. Just posted 2 statements that I actually think could be a cool topic to get your opinion on. What are they actually? Because I don't have Discord opened, so I can't really check.
Tenno, prepare for life support.
Like, if they could have kept it, but make it where she only has to be involved by keeping her damage above. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of, too, when I saw it. Because when I initially saw it and then learned what it actually was, I'm like, okay, that seems kind of fair. And then they said that, I'm like, oh, that fucking blows. For passive. I fully believe anything past the base 100% strength is fully useless. Unless used for specific... and it's not actually buffing the strength in ways that matter.
I've delivered a life support capsule to the area.
That's actually an interesting thing. Let me read the rest of the chat for a second. Joshua says, "Hell yay, Joshua! Hello, my friend. How you doing?" Discussion on the hot girl Valkyrie on the block, are we? Kind of, yeah. It's more so talking about the rework and why I think it's very mixed. But yeah, actually thinking about it, Darku, I think unless it's power strength for something like armor strip, or for a very specific mechanic that the frame has, I actually kind of agree somewhat. Because it kind of depends on the context. Like, if you're talking about general content, maybe yes, but if you're talking about level cap, then I would say it's the opposite. Because you are going to want as much power to keep the damage of your abilities going as long as possible before it starts falling off. So it's like a 50-50 with that, I would say. Like, it's both true and false for that sentiment, in my opinion. I'm not an avid Valkyrie enjoyer, but man, does this blow. Yeah, that's me too. Like, I mean, I don't even like Valkyrie that much, and even I feel it's kind of a gut punch to her kit. Like strength is just breakpoint, like Stripper, say Nyx, wanting for someone... Yeah, Darku, exactly. Like, for example, Zaku, for example, the only reason people mod for strength on Zaku is for the armor strip of the 3. Mostly. everything else is kind of moot, because the bonuses and the way it scales are good enough where it's technically not necessary. It's just only necessary right now because of the strength needed for the armor strip. Hey Zion, how you doing? I enjoyed the Enraged Valkyrie and loved the changes. Yeah, but like, even with that, Darku, it's more so along the lines of removing something that was in the kit for so long for something that is just objectively not as good.
Get ready for a capsule.
At least that's like my opinion. Because like if the alternative was still good, it'd be a different story. The problem is that the alternative is not good. At least the way I look at it. Now yes, there are ways that you can work around it, but just because you can work around it doesn't mean it's right. It's kind of like the whole, okay, this is a bit of a dumb one, but I'm still going to bring it up slightly. It's like the whole Thanos was right arguments. Like, yes, it would help the population of Earth by exterminating half of the universe, but you're still exterminating half of the universe. At least that's how I look at it.
When you are ready, go to extraction.
Okay, let's extract. And I'll do one more thing, and then we'll go do the cascade. Many Zaku players I play with, and myself only really go to like 70% strip. That's fair, too. Like, especially after the changes, like, I think the sentiment of the changes with Armor Strip, right? I don't think Armor Strip is completely useless now, it's just not as important as it used to be. Same here, I like the change to her 1, also that she can cast her 2, I think, while moving. That's really... Yeah, like, the 3 specifically is a weird one, mainly because of how they took an effect of the 2 and put it on the 3. I find that kind of lazy. And then just the 4 being removed is stupid. Hello, Robina. How you doing? People have a topic to make a video on. I don't know. Yeah, true. It might be great depending on numbers, though. Yeah, but, like, even then, Darku, 95% DR, effectively, sounds good. But 95% of a million damage is still going to one-shot you. That's the problem. Now, of course, yes, you could stack other DR methods on top and it could help, but, like, at the end of the day, like, damage reduction specifically is just not in the best of spots. Because of the investment. Like, in my opinion, that is. Pretty good, I'm hyped for Orexia, she will... Oh, Zion. Unironically, I saw the hips, I was like, wood. But she looks like an awesome frame, I'm excited for her. She looks really cool. Definitely watch Orexia just overshadow the whole update. I'm kind of scared about a future Chroma rework, because who knows what DE will do to him. They could remove his Vex armor, which yeah, that's like the problem I have here, is that it's like an integral part of the kit that didn't need to be changed, that got changed. For almost no reason. Hey, Arson. The Zaku point is more due to us moving the 45% efficiency auger for full shield per cast of 1, and now wanting more strength and more range. That's fair. That's understandable, too. At the end of the day, it all depends on the one-shot protection of her passive and the rage generation rate. That's true, Grimillion, but, like, I've tried health tanking before. Like, I tried a Sevagoth health tank a long time back, especially with, like, the Shadow and stuff. At least from what I remember, it was, like, around the level 500 to 1,000, and I just kept getting one-shot no matter what at that point. Like, it was absurd. If the passive Deathgate is good to get, it will be a fine... I mean, true, Darku, true. Like, if it's easy to get, yes, then this whole conversation would be moot. But if it's 75% of the thing, the swipes don't really give a whole lot, and it drains really freaking fast from what we've seen in the thing. Like, it's almost instant, last I remembered seeing. I just don't know how it's gonna work. Or that good. Or the Hydroid rework, yeah. With Sevagoth's Shadow, you have to try and CC them to survive at Harley. Yeah, and that's like the problem. You can't exactly because the CC is directional. It's not all around them. And most enemies are going to be at range, too, so it doesn't really help. On the stream, they said the percent is not decided yet, so I hope they were... I hope it's 50% like Darku says, that way we can get 2 gates. If they did that, it'd be perfectly fine, because then at least you could save up an extra charge. Somewhat. If they want to cushion the blow of removing invulnerability, I'd rather her percentage base health 2 or 4. Oh, that would be helpful, too. Like, if they did that, it would also help. Like, it wouldn't be amazing, but it would help. Because, at least in my opinion, it can't just be armor and status immunity. It has to be more for her 4 to work. What do you mean 2 gates? The meter goes up to, like, 3... Well, no, the percentage, when they say 75%, it's 75% of the total gauge, not, like, the damage percentage, from my understanding. 2 gates make it better than Garuda, and Garuda is in a perfect position to be a template to remix. Kind of. Wait, that's dog shit? Yeah, that's why we're getting all up in arms about it, Grimillion. That's why, or Grimilton, sorry, Grimmel, oh my god, I'm just gonna call you Grim, I'm sorry, I can't speak today. Like, that's why we're upset about this. Like, it's gonna be absurdly hard to keep up if that's the percentage. This whole time I thought it was 75% from the... No, it's 75% of the total amount. Pablo is definitely going to feel this blowback. He did minor adjustments for the Caliban reworks, which made him much better than the revised version. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, that is why we're upset. At least the Slam rework is nice. It looks interesting. Like, I actually think, unironically, these Slam changes are going to be great. Because the damage itself isn't going to change, but it's the range that's more important. And if you guys know Warframe enough, the most important stat in Warframe is range. So the fact that they're interrogating that, I think, is a really good start. Honestly thought the rework was good, but I'm seeing a lot of people hating it. Yeah, it's just like... I don't... Arson, I wouldn't say I hate the rework necessarily, because as I mentioned, as I'm going to bring up in the full video when that launches... I think the changes to her 1 are amazing. Unironically, one of the best ones in the game now. Like, easily one of the best in the entire game. One line ruined it for players. It's kind of like, what's that saying, Darku? One bad apple ruins the bunch, is how I would put it. Alright, let me finish this real quick, and then we'll go do Cascade. Like, I wouldn't say it ruined it for me. It's more along the lines of I have concerns because of that. Because it was something... Like, here's the thing. Like I say in the video, in the interview, I don't even like Valkyr that much. This is more so from a keeping an identity and what this could mean for future reworks kind of thing that I'm going at. Like, I don't have a personal attachment to Valkyr in the way other players do. I mean, Paulo said that they are readjusting the slam damage mods. That too, yeah. I forgot about that. You're right. But there are so many apples in the basket, though. Yeah, I guess. But it's like, so Darku, the saying comes from the fact that, when apples rot, right? Or when they decay, they spread a chemical that then causes the other apples around them to start decaying. So what I mean by bad apples ruin the bunch, it's just one of those things where even though it's one small problem, it can end up infecting and ruining the rest of it, in a sense. I want to say that's completely how I am, because I think... Because, like, here's how I look at it, again, right? The changes we are getting are going to be perfectly fine for where we currently play today. Like, where we play today and how we play today. But all this means is, very likely, she's going to be dated and constrained to this kind of playstyle and this kind of stuff. Meaning that either health gets reworked or she's going to get a rework. Again. Like, I am excited for a lot of changes. I just hope they make adjustments for any feedback. Yeah, true, Rob. I'm not bothered about her invulnerability being on, but I saw Shonichi made a community post about it, and he seemed to despise the change. Man, I'm not surprised the guy gets upset over everything.
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
Shiro, Brosime, Nova, take your pick. They're angry with the changes. I'm sure my reasons are very different from the others, but... Like I said, I'm not so much angry, I'm more so disappointed with the changes, if anything. What do you think, Sai? One second, let me finish reading the chat again. You know, I'm back, how's it been? Doing pretty good, Erdness. We're laxing a little bit on the stream and talking about the Valkyrie changes again for a little bit. Paralysis is still kind of a nothing ability. Yeah, that's like my other problem, is I feel like paralysis, like, I wouldn't say it's a nothing ability, because it does seem to be melee damage vulnerability, which could be nice, and the light CC could be nice. But my problem with that is that they basically just tacked on an effect of her 2 and put it onto the 3, which, honestly, in my opinion, comes off as extremely lazy.
Quick, pick up the key.
Grab that.
You got the key.
About the limbo stuff I said, I mean. Kind of upset that, that it wasn't him that got announced. But, on the upside, it just means I have more time to enjoy this guy before they probably ruin him.
Go through the portal now. It's about to collapse.
On a side note, by the way, since I'm about to leave the mission, Darko, I know I'm dragging you in, but Zion, do you want to join us? We're going to do a level cap in Cascade. But the 2 right now never gets used for slow as it's... Well, no, here's the thing, Darku. The way I look at it is like this. Like, you may never use it for the slow, but it's nice to have, if that makes sense. Not to mention, because you're restricted to melee in the 4 in general, it allows you to keep enemies from getting away from you somewhat. Because now they're slowed. At least that's how I look at it. Not a big thing, obviously, right? But it's nice to have, and I feel like you would notice the difference depending on how you play. Sure? Nice. The only thing he needs, really, is a squad fuckery and a snapshot for the highest value on Rift Torrent. Nah, Gremilton, the Rift Torrent thing, that doesn't need to be changed. It's fine. And the problem with trying to balance around squads, Grem, is that you end up unbalancing him within the rest of the game, too. Hello, Val. But like it's the case of Eternal War build, you cast it one time, it's a one-time slow. It being moved makes it so you can use it now. Maybe you can say do both. Sure, I agree. Yeah, somewhat. I can somewhat see that. Who's messaging me? Oh, it's... Oh. There we go. Sorry, I was reading something. Alright, let me open a call.
Do you like to suck?
Yeah, my soundboard. Move 2. There he is. Hello.
Hello.
Alright, now we're just waiting on Zion, because we're kidnapping him for this as well.
Ooh, nice.
Music.
Well, my build is the epitome of strength doesn't matter, and I am insecure as hell. Here's another thing that we didn't actually get time to talk about, but the other topic I had in chat. I believe, and this is honestly what I believe, even though I technically do exactly what I say shouldn't be done, but like, I believe survivability should just be a dump stat the higher level you go.
That's an interesting take. I mean, it kind of depends. Like the way I look at it, right, is that I feel like if the frame has the mechanics to dump that kind of stuff, I think that's fine.
No, like I mean, like Limbo, right? If I'm doing Cascade with Limbo solo, I'm playing actively enough to where I would not need a single way of survivability, maybe rolling guard, like at most, and like brief respite, obviously, and that would be it. Like I believe the higher level you go, the more active you should be expected to play, and activity in Warframe is immortality.
I mean, true, yes, but I feel like there's like too much stuff that's outside your control, personally, for that to be reliable. Not saying it's not impossible, though. Why against Snapshot and Rift Torrent?
Yeah.
Currently the damage is really inconsistent. Well, I mean, Gremlin, the thing is that Rift Torrent scales with enemy density. That's why it's inconsistent. The more enemies you have, the stronger you become. That's the point. I guess that's good for shield gating, but I genuinely don't like shield gating. Shield gating is weird because I mean, I understand why it exists, and I get it, but I'm also in the camp of like, if I can avoid it, that'd be nice.
I believe it's fine if you use it for just the like short shield gate for like just brief respite, not like the catalyzing shield stuff on top.
Yeah.
Like if it's just an on top survivability, I'm generally fine with it. Or if it's the only way to survive at said levels. Like we have so many frames, so many frames, who literally can only shield gate and have no other options
which
outside
doesn't.
of killing the enemy.
Yeah, but then you kill most enemies. Well, then you grab more enemies, or you do what I do and run like a Let me show this. Or you do what I do and run something like Arcane Rage as well, either for extra damage or like whenever you have to leave the rift. That way you have a damage method. Ooh, let me see this. Garuda Prime.
It's the belt.
Health conversion. Of course, health conversion. Archon
Oh,
Flow.
is Darko pitching his crazy builds again?
Oh yeah, he's showing me a Garuda Darku build. Everybody clip this, use this. The secret sauce.
Hey,
Darko
it's
special.
honestly at this point it should be my coin. Like use health conversion adaptation, you fool.
Having a frame get less damage and more enemies they kill. I mean, that's just how enemy density abilities work. That's just how it works.
Yeah, like that's how Volt works. That's how like we have a lot of frames that actually do that.
Yeah,
Like,
there's
Saren
so many frames
technically.
that do it. Yeah, even Saren to an extent is like that.
Ember is like the best example of this. Like she is crazy once she gets to like 500% strength from the enemies around her, but if she doesn't, she kinda.
963 Kid cool. Shield gating annoying unless you're a caster every frame like Sevagoth or have Alma Mori. I much prefer just face taking. Yeah, I agree as well, but like as we all know, that method doesn't really work after a while. Like it works for where we currently play. It works for where we currently
It does,
play.
but it's expensive for level cap.
That
It
too,
works, but
it's
it's
much
expensive
more
to do.
expensive over shield gating. Because like with shield gating, you technically could get away with even just one mod. Technically, depending on
One
the frame.
aura mod.
Yeah,
could
one
be a-
aura mod, yeah. Whereas with health tanking,
Or
you
a
would...
pistol mod. It could be a pistol mod.
True. A pistol mod. Like, there's so many ways of outsourcing shield gating versus health tanking. Which requires at minimum, like, sometimes 6 mods just to get going.
Yeah, or like shield gating like could also just be done with 2 shield recharge delay and Aegis. Maybe
By the
brief
way,
respite.
do you think Gloom's lifesteal is good for late game survivability for frames like Garuda, obviously?
Yes, but no.
Yeah,
That makes
it's a
sense.
yes but no kind of thing, because it's like, yes, it scales with the amount of damage you deal, right? But the problem is, if you're still gonna get one shot, if you still get one shot, then it kind of defeats the point of having it at the end.
Like Gloom is good on frames like Garuda if you do the energy tanking build. If you do the energy tank where you have kind of a gate, quote unquote, like you could say, and your energy usage for health is a gate in this instance.
Yeah.
So like, it's basically the way to look at Gloom is it'll full heal you. You're never not gonna be at full health, but if you're at full health and still get one shot, then you need to have some way of mitigating that through like energy tanking, or you're dead. So like,
Which comes back to it being really expensive to do.
well, depends on the frame. Garuda, yes, it's a bit more expensive, but I believe frames like Lavos could do it, even though he can't really use quick thinking that well. He does have 150 energy, which is enough to get one tick out of it.
Yeah, I
With
guess, yeah.
like health regen shard specifically. So like, I think like Valkyr, I'm gonna try doing a similar setup to Garuda because she definitely doesn't need a damage help from strength. So you can just dump that and instead go.
Zion, why'd you
for that
leave?
play.
I went and rejoined because I was still on Cetus,
I see, okay.
or in Cetus.
Alright, let me,
Like the armor Valkyr gets is enough to get to 90% DR. It's more than health conversion alone can give her, like any frame, right? So like, she's going to be able to just do energy tanking with that alone, meaning she lost one mod there. Then you have adaptation, maybe 2 rage mods, maybe 1 would actually be enough. I would have to try it.
By the way, the problem with
so you would
Dread
end up-
Mirror is that enemies die too fast for the invincibility to trigger consistently. Is it actually viable in higher levels? The augment? I mean, it should, because like enemy health scales up higher, so you have a lesser chance of killing them as fast, depending on the enemy, obviously.
Okay, question. What do we need for Cascade? Does anybody have any special thing that they wanna receive?
Just be comfortable on surviving. That's honestly all that matters.
Yeah, for the most part, it does. Let me
Okay, then I'm
let me just
going.
make sure this build is good. One second. I'm actually gonna go for.
I mean, otherwise I would have gone Equinox, because I just recently finished the build.
Nice.
But I don't know if
Ooh.
it's still...
Equinox.
I don't know if it's...
I can have a look if you
that
want. I've
good.
used her in level cap quite a bit.
Yeah, I can link it if you want.
Gain threshold. I'm gonna use increased aim glide duration, I think. Escapist.
I mean, it's
is
just
very good.
base. I don't know if corrosive protection is that good. I can technically put something else in there.
Has anyone tried it? Oh yeah, tons of people use the augment for Dread Mirror at level cap, doing level cap stuff. I know. I think it was Floman that did when he used Garuda, if I remember correctly. For a
I do it as well. It's completely usable.
What augment?
It obviously requires more active play, but it's quite good.
The
This
augment
Equinox
for
build, you kind of want both shield recharge delay mods, but I don't know how you would fit that.
That's the thing.
my next goal is level cap Marilena,
Um.
Guardian, Ureli, 90% DR from adaptation plus 8 is skating, Omori for more face thinking. Only thing is I probably need. I mean, possibly, yeah. Like, the problem is the 99% DR from adaptation, because you have to remember that's only to a specific damage type when you do that. So even though you're taking reduced damage against a specific damage type, you still have the other 3 damage types or the other damage types to contend with from the attacks. So it could be like, if the main damage type is, say, slash, right? Say it's like 100 damage, right? It's 30 impact, 30 puncture, but then 40 slash. You're only going to get 90% DR against the slash only, so you still have to contend with the other damage. Is how that works. Which is why, although adaptation is good, it's like, it still won't necessarily carry you the level cap. It'll carry you far, though, for most frames, depending on what it is, or how you build it. How should DE change health tanking, the math behind it, or just have a high base armor on frames, or better options? I think there's only 2 ways I could see them fixing it. They either change how armor scales, Or they add some kind of health gate system. And the problem with the health gate system is that it could be easily abusable depending on how it's implemented.
Yeah, and like it's also just the way modding armor works.
Yeah.
Theoretically, any frame shouldn't mod any armor past 1.5k because that's when you get to about 88-90% DR. Once you had hit above that, you would need like 3,000, 4,000 to see any benefit.
Yeah.
And once you hit that amount, you need 8,000, 9,000 to see any benefit.
And then you would need a damage reduction method on top of that, too. Either through adaptation or some kind of ability to mitigate it even further.
I think what they shouldn't do is add more DR from armor alone. What they should do is make it so, say, past 1.45k armor, a very specific number, I'll tell you later, should be kind of a delayed damage approach, where like it would delay damage at a set tick rate, maybe, and the tick rate then get
like
by armor,
a damage mechanic of some kind, where like it'll show on the screen the attacks that you take and like what you.
The way it would be is your health would slowly drain, and maybe show a number of like how much damage is total stored, and you would take that tick damage like slowly over a set period of time, and that like would be you would have to heal to survive. This is a mechanic we have seen in other games as well.
That actually could be interesting because then it'd be something that'd be more exclusive to the high health tanking and high armor.
Tanking, yeah.
It would allow Corvettes to survive somewhat pretty easily, so that could be interesting.
Yeah, like this kind of mechanic we've seen in League of Legends, we've seen it in like Stadium in Overwatch 2, for example. We've seen it in Dota, I believe. Not anymore. I believe it was in the like mod of it. And we've seen it in a whole other MOBAs, like more power games even. Like a delayed damage mechanic that's duration based, making damage dot instead of a flat hit would be a great addition to the game.
Do people do level cap Cascade solo ever? I try and it just gets way too. I personally have never done it. I know people who have. I mean, Darker, you've done it solo many times, right? Yeah.
It requires you to basically play like it's a FPS game. You have to play it like it's a COD game, kind of. You have to like be very active.
The problem with level cap is the enemy damage increases like Giga Extreme. It goes from enemies doing reasonable damage to you on base SP to BS amounts of damage. I mean, I don't mind that too much, Cirrus. The problem is that we don't have a whole lot of ways to mitigate it. Is the real problem. Without it being
our mitigation is we just nullify it.
Yeah, you either stop the damage completely, like Mesmer Skin, or you use Shield Gate. That's like the two ways.
Or the third way.
You also have like stacking significant unique DR. Yeah, Invis as well.
Damage deferring.
Significant DR stacking as well would also do it. But like that's like incredibly significant. Like this would be like Mesa levels where you have that 95 from her ability and stuff.
You didn't fully omniforma your Limbo yet. This is so for context. This Limbo.
Why haven't you done that?
This is the first Limbo that I ever have, so I'll never change the mod configs on this one. But I'll do it with a new Limbo or one of my other ones. So.
Honestly, you should do it on all your Limbos, except like your main one, I guess. Then, or like.
Well, no, this is like the original Limbo Prime that I'm using right now, so I don't really want to change anything on it because it's like special.
Yeah, but then do it to every other Limbo except that one. Then.
Yeah, probably. All right, let me.
As well, it would be expensive.
All right, what do we got? Oh, thank God, it's Grenier. Ooh, it's a Fisher too.
Nice.
Oh, we want to do Fisher? It'll scale it to about 3 hours instead of 1.
Okay, let's do normal then. Actually, yeah.
Wait, does Fisher actually scale it that hard?
It slows the scaling. I'll just show off, in my opinion, if you really, really want to level cap Samara standing, but really hate doing Samara scan hunts. That's true.
Question is, do you want to bring in somebody else from chat as well?
Actually, yeah, wait. Does anyone want to join the Cascade with us?
Just to get a fourth person here.
Yeah, I mean, we could probably do it with 3, but it wouldn't hurt to bring a 4.
3 is very comfortable. 4 is ideal, obviously.
Taking DOTs that aren't a one-shot Venom Maximus Charger proc would be nice. I like the idea of delayed damage. That would be neat. In my opinion...
Yeah,
oh, sorry. Continue.
like other games, what they do is they say like, oh, 30% of damage is removed from the first hit and then dealt in a dot effect, or 15% or whatever. Like the number has been tweaked with a bunch of games and through the history and stuff.
I hate
But like,
Cascade.
but I think specifically having Warframe have an ability like, oh, all frames that have 2000 armor no longer take damage as a direct hit, and only take it as dots that scale exponentially the more damage they take. So they still have to worry about the damage they take. They will still be one shot at some point if they don't have a high enough heal and can't deal with the enemies, because the stored damage would be too high. Maybe add some mechanic for specifically the frames that have high innate armor to cleanse it. That could be interesting. Or a helmet ability, or like a companion ability. Like there's so many ways, mods, augments, you name it, they could make it to cleanse it. That's also a way of doing it.
How
That way it would
long
be like
y'all
Stagger
playing?
from WoW.
I'm probably gonna do this Cascade run, like finish this run, and then I'll probably be done because I usually only stream for like 2 hours generally, and because I get tired of sitting in this chair.
Oh, you should get a like standing desk. Or one that you can like swap between.
I would like to do that, but I already got this desk I'm using, and I paid a lot for it, and it's nice, so I don't want to do that.
I mean, we can head in if you guys want.
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
look like we're
Okay.
gonna get anybody
That's
else, so we
cool.
can start.
It wouldn't be though, Gremlin, and well, Helmuth might be a bad way of phrasing it. What I meant is like more maybe mods or stuff, but like it wouldn't be just a brief respite because it would not be necessary on most frames. Like Nidus wouldn't
Hey,
need it because he
Kiwi.
has his death gate. Valkyr wouldn't have needed it for her death gate. Lavos wouldn't need it because his healing and damage output put in bursts would be so high to where he would be able to cleanse it.
The cleanse status
like they're just
helmet
behind enemies.
already operates on charges.
No, I mean he meant like specifically the damage over time thing being cleansed by helmet. I assume. So like what it would end up doing is making it so like mainly Corvex, or if you used 5 blue shards for armor and like health conversion and got to that like armor threshold to get that delayed damage, so you could actually use it on other frames and add like build variety to like I don't know, Loki. Should I name a frame that's useless?
Loki's great. Be quiet. He's great.
I prefer my hound. If I want to disarm people, I'll perma disarm with my
Like,
hound.
well,
I mean,
no.
so
The
I can
thing
play
is
a
I
frame that
use
does
the
that.
disarm with, what is it? Oh my god, decoy to redirect enemy flow. That way I don't have to move around. It's like ultimate laziness.
I'll have my hound disarm, and then I'll have decoy on another frame.
No, it's not the same, man. At least the disarm's in my control instead of having to wait for the hound to do his thing.
Oh, the hound. If you just use the disarm audit, you can have it be permanent. Like all enemies are no longer. having
No
weapons
offense,
in
Darku.
addition.
I have tried that. It is way too inconsistent for me, at least from what I've played.
You probably then use the other mods on top. I'm saying like just use that one.
No,
ability.
I tried it,
And
and it still
Manifold
was
Bond,
it
and
still
it
was
will
inconsistent. That's why I don't use it. It's
I don't
just,
know,
in my
I think-
opinion, it's just too inconsistent.
I will have to see the build.
Well, I think I switched it out a while ago because I didn't bother anymore.
Yeah, because like that's the kind of thing where like I have used it and it does work significantly. So like I want to see like maybe there's something you like build, like maybe you had like wrong order or something, or had more abilities. Because like the one issue with hounds currently is their ability rotation takes eons if you have like multiple abilities, especially if you have like the non-hound abilities, because they have like 2 of them as well that take cast time, like Guardian and stuff.
I hope for the next operation we can actually bison to parts. I don't want to do those puzzles. The puzzles are fine.
Probably
The
you won't be
puzzles-
able to.
The puzzles are fun. You should get into them. If you don't like it, you should try it. They are really fun if you have like a buddy and do the double puzzles. Like the 2-player puzzles are actually really fun.
Oh, fuck
There are
me, no.
kinda. I also hated them at first until I actually like truly tried it, and then I actually.
Bro,
kinda
this is actually
enjoyed it.
atrocious. I already have an energy problem when there are not enough enemies around. Athraxes don't count towards my 3. My god.
And Toxin Aeolic is not bad.
I'm using electric Aeolag because I have a Riven with
Nice.
electric, and it's amazing. Sadly, it's just
Yeah,
triple
like
stat,
is powerful.
but it's not a negative, but it's fine.
Easily one of the top 10 rifles.
Yep.
Is it still top 10? Yeah, it probably is still top 10.
It
Might
is-
barely
If not
be
bottom
that
of the
great.
top 10 at
Load, my
least.
guy.
Yeah, it's bottom top 10. It's definitely like on its way down, but like, yeah, it's definitely top 10, I think, still.
Also, speaking of our soon-to-be Spider Woman, I just read through her like short description yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and I think they added a line.
Oh.
It now says that you can. I can't pull it up right now, but it's. They said you can leech life, like health and energy from weakened enemies.
Oh, so it's like that one melee, maybe?
That's
Hopefully better than
Maybe, I
that
don't
one
know.
melee. Holy crap. That would be horrendous.
Sorry, from your previous
Yeah,
videos
really.
regarding Valkyrie rework and many other creators have touched as mentioned, do you really need to rework the way health tanking or high level until level 1000? Yeah, like, that's the thing, because, like, the point that I wanted to bring up with that is, like, the problem with it is that it constrains her to being centered around mostly health gating, right? So either she's gonna have to get reworked again, or they're gonna have to change health and armor scaling. Like, one of those has to give at some point.
Yeah, but the health armor scaling would be the better one.
Well, yeah,
I
it
think,
would be.
like,
That's
the
what I'm
current rework
saying.
is fantastic. If armor had a place past 1.5k, she would have had a flippin' amazing, like,
Yeah.
rework. I love it. I played in Rage. I already used Shield Gate on Valkyrie, so I'm just eating good.
Yeah, because, like, there's nothing wrong with having an alternative to invulnerability. The problem is, with the current landscape of Warframe, it's either dodge damage, tank the damage to where it's absolutely zero, or shield gating. Like, those are the only ways you can effectively tank these days. For
Yeah, like even
most of
Invis
it.
is like kinda inconsistent.
Invis is not a
Okay.
tank. You're just mitigating the chance of getting hit.
Yeah, it's inconsistent, but it still works for the most part. Whereas with health
It
tanking,
depends
just
on what
does
frame
not
you're
work.
using it on. And how active you
Yeah.
want to play. If you play something like Octavia where just spam one button, or Loki where you also just spam one button, and have Invis while you can shoot, and then there's frames like Varuna where you have to like actively cast your Invis like every time you deal damage, because how the ability works. It is.
Or just play caster Varun as well. Just like option.
Oh yeah, that is also a possibility, but
Yeah.
it depends on what type of Invis frame you want to play.
Oh god, Dee might just go
Yeah.
the route of making Valkyrie an augment where if she keeps above a certain damage number, she's invul while in her 4. I would not be surprised if they added a band-aid augment like that.
Honestly,
low-key.
I think that
Would
kind of
be
augment as an Exilus would be incredible, no? Like, it would, like, still cost power to get that functionality back, but, like, yeah.
It's still
would
kind
have,
of
like, a-
dumb when she's had it for so long and then they add it back as an augment that they'll make you pay for.
Yeah, but I think, like, that's the case of, like, oh, we now took away the main gripe of, like, actually buffing her, because we couldn't really buff her while she was in roll. So, like, yeah.
Mali
Or
said-
without making the invuln a lot of hoops. Like, if they made the invuln a lot of... Like, let's say, oh, if you do one finisher, one basic melee, and one slide attack melee kill, you gain invuln for 5 seconds. Like, that would be kind of ridiculous. Like, that's...
I'd say an augment in the Exilus slot would be great. Like make that her thing.
Yeah, like, just like, oh, you no longer gain armor from Warcry or Perforge, but you gain invuln. Like, and, like, maybe add back the 5 energy cost a second. So, like, it's like, oh, you just... If you want the old functionality with the new buffs, like, all the new buffs and stuff, like the ease of damage...
I'd say
and, like, all
either
of that
or
crazy
with
stuff.
the
Yeah.
with the energy drain as well as the other
Yeah.
thing that you said.
Yeah, like, it's all up to them, right?
It
Like,
just
yeah.
crossed my
If you want
mind.
to.
Why do you think, Sai, about the what Pablo said? Hey, Nick the Ninja. When it
what?
comes to what Pablo... I'm trying to remember what Pablo said again. Could you guys tune me in again?
Depends on what.
Is it the Twitter post where he said, like, oh, it's more fun to play her now? Like, yeah.
Maybe.
Like, yeah, the
I,
opinion
I,
of-
What are we
I don't
talking
watch.
about?
I don't watch
Because
Because
Twitter.
I agree. Because I agree, like, it looks like a bit rework that like seems like a Garuda playstyle, which I do love. I do think people who love Garuda are going to think, like, you see a Valkyria as like, oh, she's a really cool reflavoring of Garuda.
Well, that's kind
Just
of
like
the
how I would look at
problem, though, is that frames should be their own thing, not a better version of something else.
No, but it doesn't have to be better. It's a different flavor, right? Like it's like how you could like argue like, oh, if you like have this frame, but then you have that frame that does the same thing, but it's slightly different and deviates in certain aspects, that makes it massively different, right?
I guess, but still, it just feels like it's like, as you put it, if it's like more like a Garuda thing, then at least as people will put it, go play Garuda then. You know?
Yeah, but it would be like the case of like, oh, say you're a Garuda player that only used her talents, no like gunplay or no casting Garuda, it was only melee. Now you have like a frame that actually is that, like a bit more extreme, kinda, like a bit an extremist version of melee Garuda. And so if you want to have like a gun Valkyr, like the new Valkyr, if you learned the game and like played the new Valkyr and didn't know the old
Said
one,
he
you
needed
would think
to
like,
rework
oh,
all frame survivability would be controversial. That's That's really... I don't know how to feel about that, because, like I said, I feel like they should just overhaul health and armor scaling, like we talked about.
Again? Are you
Yeah.
talking about scaling or the like initial values?
No, like how
they should
we-
rework
scaling.
the Warframes versions of armor.
Yeah,
Ah,
rework
okay,
their
never mind
version
then.
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about enemies again.
Because, like, kind of like how
Oh, operator bug,
Dystopia...
yeah, no.
Kind of like how Dystopia put it in the interview when I was talking with him. It feels almost like a backwards way of thinking of like, oh, she has all this armor, we should make her use the armor, get rid of the invulnerability.
But yeah, but it's also the case of like, it does add like more of an active gameplay. Like it forces a more active gameplay pattern, right?
Yeah,
Like
I
some
mean,
would say
yeah.
like, oh, play Revenant if you want immortality, like, which is like, yes and no. Like Revenant has an immortality, right? Because his thematic is that he is meant to, like, thematically it makes only really sense if the like charges, the old charges at least, before they made it 1 second of invuln after the fact.
It's
like,
more
yeah,
like dodging
but it
damage rather than like invulnerability.
Yeah, it was like-
though.
Yeah, like it was the case of like, oh, each stack would block one hit regardless of its damage. That was how it all worked. Now it's a full second. Every charge will block damage for that full second.
Yeah.
Like, so like that's obviously a bit easier now to play. But you could also argue that he is now kind of an accessibility option. Like if you play on, like if you are limited mobility and play on like one of my buddies actually, he doesn't play Warframe anymore. Well, he still does from like big updates, releases and stuff. We still end up talking.
I was wondering what kind of
Around
survivability
then.
do you generally use on Limbo other than his Rift, of course. Shield recharge delay, mainly.
Yeah,
Those mods had a fucking glow up.
They're so good.
yeah, like this. They kind of overshadow the whole like any other survivability method is kind of redundant if that exists. It's 2 mods, maybe an arcane, maybe an aura slot. And
Add
maybe
in,
a-
add in,
You need ages. You don't even need it.
yeah, add in
Yeah.
like what's it called? The rapid resilience mod as well, and you're cooking.
But yeah, like it's
That
like,
with
because
the
Revenant, right?
sticks.
Like Revenant is, unlike Rhino and stuff, a frame that I've seen people who have actual like physical like disabilities play, which is kind of interesting. Because like Wukong had this as well for a while, where like he was played like I knew like quite a few people who play Warframe doesn't have maybe 1 or even 2 arms. Like one of them only has his feet that they play with, using one of the cool Xbox controllers that they set
Oh,
up,
those ones?
using a bunch of different switches, and it looks really like
Yeah,
the
no
setup
worries,
is really
David.
cool. So like it's the case of like I understand why they wouldn't want to rework Revenant or like those like kinds of frames now, because they kind of have like they're kind of now fulfilling the niche of an accessible quote unquote MOBA.
In that case, I think it's fair because like it's not so much like here's my stance on the Revenant hate a little bit. I don't hate his invincibility part of it necessarily. Like I think it's fine. It's more so how people overblow him, if that makes sense. Like they overhype him in a sense, at
Yeah.
least in my opinion. Because like yes, he's invincible, but that's all he has really is his invincibility and not much else.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
yeah, he has there's like nothing. I mean, there are builds that lean into.
Like,
his
he does have a
forward.
mobility tool and stuff like that, which is neat, but it's not like...
Yeah,
he,
but
he
it's-
doesn't do anything that wows me, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, and he does have neat builds for those who want to experiment with him specifically, right? Like, I would say the game is in a good space if Revenant is the highest played frame, but I would say the game's in a bad state if a frame like Wukong or Saren is in the top of the list, right?
Yeah, because they're very different frames.
Yeah, because like two of them like are autonomized DPS, right? Like they're passive DPS sources.
Zaku.
Well, Zaku has limited range. He has very limited range.
That's true. Yeah.
To an extent,
Which is
yeah,
like this
but
range.
like it's so easy to build for range now when it comes to Zaku, so it's not as like.
Yeah, but I mean, like his
remember-
range isn't disruptive, right? Like it's not a disruptive level of range. Like influence builds will
it
have more range
does-
theoretically than those that just use his guns, right?
Yeah, that's true because the guns do require line of sight, so it's not like it's going behind walls and shit.
Like the guns only have
like,
like even if you build full range is like less than 20 meters, like seeking range.
No, it's around 20 meters, if not more.
Maybe 20 meters. Like it would barely be like even at 280. Range.
Actually, let me think because I've built up builds before where it's 280% range with a decent amount of.
They
sight.
nerfed it a long time ago. They nerfed it like a year after he was out, kinda.
Well, no, the
Like the range
base
of it.
range is still 8. Is the thing.
Yeah.
So that would be about.
Yeah, so you would be able to, like 23 and a half, I think.
Be like 24 meters, yeah, somewhere around there.
So like
Yeah, but
influence
24 meters
melees
is
are
not
going to
that
have better
much.
range, like consistently better range, right?
Rev that the gut with Reeve. My friend's favorite build is Rhino with Reeve and one shots anything. Yeah, I've seen that build. I used to
Yeah.
use a Reeve Garuda build when Reeve converts her ult's bleed into damage ticks. Oh god.
Yeah, like the main thing I think about like with Revenant is like he's an accessibility option that at least has some unique stuff with his kit as well, and like yeah, he's a survivability bot, but at least he's like a fine one. He's not like
He's
a
not
horrible-
disruptive, so it's
Yeah.
fine.
Like he's a specter basically. At worst, he's a specter. At best, he has some unique spell casting he could do.
I mean, he's not
like,
dying when he's on your team, or at least he
Yeah.
normally doesn't. You can die.
He can still
even on
die.
one shot.
Like there's
I,
no
I,
ways of
I
dying.
will unironically say the most players I've had to pick up were playing Revenant, so I think there's a trend.
Yeah, because they don't understand.
Oh,
his
for
kit.
me, it's by far Inaros, but that's probably still just lingering from the old Inaros.
Yeah, I'm talking about like in general, like from what I've seen whenever I play public, it's mostly Revenants I have to pick up, which is really funny.
Yeah, they don't
that's-
understand
that's
how
not
you
as
actually
skewed, though.
play the frame.
It-
It's like you
it's-
just don't spam like your mesmer skin all day every day. I mean, yeah, that's what you do on his ability level, but you actually have to play into survivability.
I see
And not
why
just stand
some
there.
don't like the Valkyrie changes. I'm a bit afraid of an Equinox rumor coming from Pablo. Since her current kit, it's fine, just needs some... The problem with her kit, in my opinion, when it comes to Equinox, her 3 in night form needs to be fixed so that it doesn't have diminishing scaling with range or whatever it is. And in my
What
opinion,
part?
the 3, you know, the damage mitigation part, it diminishes with
Yeah,
range.
are you talking about the augment as well?
Not
Yeah, the
the
augment as well has diminishing returns.
Well, yeah, the augment to an extent then, yeah. But it's like the damage reduction scales with range, which is really stupid, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's true.
And, the 4, like, doesn't survive that well.
Depends what form you're using. I mean, she is
You
kind
survive
of
well in night form. The day form is meant to be very glass cannony.
Yeah. Which
That's why
would be-
people most of the time like I want to have the idea of like Equinox. I think honestly would be good for Pablo to rework in the same mindset as the current Valkyrie changes because it would probably like because they can't disrupt her current play pattern, right? She's an aura frame, right? She's effectively just 2 different auras. Because like let's
True.
face it, her second ability is god awful.
Eh,
No,
like, it would need,
the,
like-
the
The
sleep.
game.
The sleep is good, and then the day form has its niche. I mean, it's decent. Could be better.
it's damage vulnerability, after all.
Yeah, yeah, but it's also a speed up and stuff. Like I
That
think
is
like
her 4. No, her 3. Her 3 is speed up and not.
this
Is it?
no,
No.
her 2 in day form.
I
will
don't play
speed up
day form.
enemies.
I guess you can figure it.
Her Her 2 in day form is
Yeah.
damage, vulnerability, and speed increased to enemies. And then her
Yeah.
3 in day form is power strength.
Power strength.
Oh yeah,
Like,
true, true.
they're nice. Like they form, like the third ability should probably get some more stuff added to it instead of just strength. Like even the augment
vision
is just
spears.
more strength.
Honestly, if they made it damage reduction in day form for that, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, or maybe make it some like kind of mechanic of like, oh, you get more range or like something unique to them. Like imagine if they gave like up to 45% ability range.
I've seen people link
Or you
Revenant
get-
builds in Region, they mod him for shield, health, armor. I feel like 90% of his players only heard that he's unkillable and don't even know why he's unkillable.
Exactly what I meant with
Yeah.
players not understanding how to play him. Because
Yeah.
I have a friend that like started Warframe some time ago, and I recommend a Revenant team to him just to kind of get him to stick with the game because
Oh, you should recommend Nezha always. Always recommend Nezha. Nezha is so good.
Yeah,
I mean, it is
Nesha's
kinda-
way more engaging, yeah.
He's
Yeah, but that-
the frame that I recommend people because he's a caster with insane survivability. So like for
True.
the level of content they would ever achieve until I get them into level cap.
So, what do you think about the power scanning I mentioned earlier? You missed it, I think. I don't remember. Yeah, I think I did. I put it in the chat again, and then I'll read it because I think I missed it. If I did talk about it, I don't remember.
But also, like Equinox in general, the only thing I wish for her would be that abilities stay active
When
you
swapping
switch
form.
forms.
It also should preserve your fourth ability charge that isn't an augment. Like literally,
Yeah.
all they would need is make it so the 3 doesn't deactivate and lose its like augment build up, and the 4 should just also stay. The augment for the 4 could be changed to be a bit unique. I don't know how. Maybe make the AoE on day form / procs of that damage,
There we go.
so it would one shot even more consistently, and then make the day form like, oh, it heals the ally of X amount of shields per X duration, maybe.
Yeah.
Would be so cool.
Also, I
And
would
it
just
wouldn't
get rid
make
of
it
her
mandatory.
first ability and make her one a passive, like something
No,
like
the one
Limbo
couldn't
has.
really be like the one couldn't really be a passive like dashing. That would be too disruptive, I think, to regular gameplay.
Like then just give it like something like a unique something that's like a unique animation or something, or something to keep the player engaged. Not just like have a basic dodge. I understand that would be
Says,
like
I really don't
Because
like
I think
the
as a
rapid
dodge, it would
escalation
be
of strength.
it would feel bad. I think.
We're going for since Red took over, we are getting stronger. Enemies need to be buffed to be a challenge. Older, weaker frames become irrelevant and need buffs. Yeah, like that's one of the reasons why I wasn't the biggest fan of the Jade Shadows changes, because I feel like they got rid of too much in it.
Well, that's more just a problem. They didn't follow up with the health. Like they should have buffed health a bit more. They should have changed armor a bit more to make it instead of a 90 cap, maybe make it 93.5
If
cap.
it was like 93 or
math, that seems to
95,
get better.
it would have been much better in my opinion.
95 would be too much. I did the math. It's 93.5 is like the limit of when you would kind of then need
course
level,
you did
like
the
you would
math.
need armor strip basic. Like that level after 90, like if you make it 94 or higher, corrosive would basically be the default, like we had it before the Jade update.
Not necessarily. I mean, we have so many
For
ways of
most
outsourcing armor strip now, so it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, but like I'm just saying, like it would make you want to have armor strip in your build somewhere, and most people would default to, oh, I'll just have corrosive heat on my primary.
The only thing Equinox needs is Tweak 03, in my opinion. It's a mix of that and multiple other things, Kiwi. That's just the
Yeah,
reason
it's
I
a 3
started
and then
to
it's the
play.
4 augment being base. Like that's literally all she needs, ideally. Like,
That's the reason I started to play Male Frames. He's so broken, he's beautiful. For real. That's funny. The only one I could think of is the Brahma Zarkong nerfs. Yeah.
honestly the explosive primary weapons nerf. I think it shouldn't have affected all weapons, just specific ones.
Funny thing, there's actually some weapons that are still exempt from it. I mean, Tonkor never got nerfs.
True.
well, yeah, it's because it kind of all like the way they did it was more normalized the ammo. So like they weren't like, because what would happen is like it's what we see with the Tenant Envoy right now, right? Like the Tenant Envoy isn't balanced correctly in the ammo department, so it's the best AoE because it just has the best ammo economy, right? And so it just ends up being the best for all content that they
Yeah, it's,
would use an AoE launcher for.
It's part of
So
what
it's like the problem of
it's part of what I talked about with you before, the thing that I call the magazine index, right? Where like weapons are typically AoE weapons, right? They typically have much smaller magazines and ammo reserves because they can expel their damage across multiple, like a big area, right?
yeah,
Whereas
like it's a
with,
balancing mechanic.
Yeah, it's a balancing thing. And then to offset it, single target weapons typically have much more ammo in their magazines and their reserves to offset it, because even though, because they're single target, they have to kill enemies in a single target manner, so they need more ammo to be able to do it.
Yeah. Like it's also just a case of even like cases like snipers and stuff, right? Like, does it matter how much ammo a sniper has? It'll kill in 1 to 5 shots depending on the sniper, and it'll like always have the ammo it needs to shoot because of how slow firing it is. So like it's the case also of just like logically you would want to more so make our like ammo a real like, because right now, right, like I still use the Kuva Zar even after the nerfs. I just modded 2 ammo mods. I did both mutation and drum.
Makes
So, like,
sense.
So it's like the case of like they just made it so it costed more to have that comfort of spamming shots. Like what I think would have been cool was like specifically for weapons like the Tsar. I believe there's one more AoE that also is a single target. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember the name.
I can't think of
The
one.
Ogress, to some extent, if you don't run the augment.
Yeah,
the
like
Ogress?
like
Oh.
like there's some weapons that I think, not the ogres. I meant like weapons that had like alternate fire modes. That
Oh,
were
you're
in
thinking of
AoE.
like the ambassador and stuff, right? Or the Trumna.
Not
things like
ambassador. I was thinking, isn't there one more launcher that has like, because the Tsar has the shotgun mode. I was thinking more like that. Isn't there another AoE weapon that also had like a similar thing where it like had a single target version as well? I think it's an all fire.
Not that I know of, no. Oh, Tetra.
Maybe-
Tetra. I think that's
Yeah,
what you're
Tetra. That's the
thinking
one.
of. Yeah.
Like,
I-
I wish the Tsar was more like the Tetra in how it was designed, to where it was more ammo, like you had more ammo maximum, but the cannon shot costing more ammo, like doubling the ammo reserve, but also doubling the cost of shooting the cannon. That way the shotgun would have a use,
That could work.
Um,
yeah.
outside of just on-kill effects that it currently has. Because like right now, the issue of AoE weapons is they're meant to be balanced around the fact that they have the same damage as a single target weapon.
I did level
they do it in an
Brahma.
AoE.
Just the Brahma, literally just Vigilante Supplies fixes it. Never mind, I was playing Barrage for more boom. Enemy damage scaling should be
Yeah.
tweaked too. Nah, Kiwi, I think enemy damage scaling needs to be where it's at. They just need to change how health scaling works.
Yeah, like there's not an issue with the enemies scaling outside of their durability or spawn rates. What is really the problem is just our tankability and how it is interacted in the game.
Yeah, because like we mentioned earlier, there's only 2 viable ways of tanking right now. You either shield gate or you ignore damage completely. Those are the only ways.
Or you do a
Two
mix
ways.
of all 3 options, but like even then, like you're just using the shield gate option, but like with like a bit more comfort on top. Like
Yeah, you get to
Like, it's
chill
just-
with health tanking for lower parts of a mission, and then at the higher parts you have to use shields, kind of thing. Is how it would be.
well, it's also just
I
a
mean,
case of like for example, Garudas, right? Like Death Mirror is like what they use, right, as their main tanking method, and they also have maybe shields. I don't. I use the energy tank, but it's just a case of like you end up in this weird spot where you kind of have multiple ways of tanking, but only really one that is actually used, which is the shield one. Because if you have shields, you don't need the rest, because everything else is under the shield. But like you still like for example, like I often like would end up building for more than just shield gate in some builds, depending on the level of content and stuff. Like Homei, I built her for like both energy tank and shield gate, mainly because she has nothing she wants.
I hate shield gating since I started. I still don't have a brief respite. I'd recommend trying to get one. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
I
like,
mean, I don't use it
even
super
without
often, but it's good.
yeah, like even without thinking about shield gating, brief respite alone is actually quite useful, just because it's invulnerability whenever you cast a spell, regardless of if you health tank or not.
Yeah.
Really
Think
helps
of it
sprint
as-
like
as
Garuda,
something
who has a
like-
very long cast time.
Think of it like you're casting shit anyway, why not increase the survivability as well?
Yeah.
Because you're
Yeah.
throwing shit, if you like throwing shit at people, the variability is just put it on, see how you like it, and if you don't like it, you can take it off after. But I can promise
Yeah.
you will notice a difference in your survivability.
It's also just the fact that the aura slot really doesn't have value. Like,
And yeah,
refresh
you
bit
can
is so significant of a value that, like, unless you're like wanting the combo duration or wanting like what else?
There's the one where on stash chance you get power strength, whatever it is. I can't remember what.
Throwing
Yeah, but do
power.
you want that? Do you care about that?
I kinda do.
25 strength. I guess if it's a
25%
break
for
point.
free.
If it's a
25%
break
for
point you
free.
want to reach, sure, but I don't think like a frame would want that after the fact. Or and maybe you have it equipped just for your allies. I don't know.
Yeah, be something for allies mainly.
Yeah, because it's again going back to the conversation of strength doesn't matter past 100%. Like, do you really need that? Like, do you really need a 25 strength for your aura slot?
Depends if yeah, like you said, depends if you reach a breaking point.
Yeah, if you reach a breaking point, I guess you could. I can understand.
Nick the Ninja, you say that, but the problem is that I've tried health tanking in like even in the EDAs and ETAs, and health tanking not as good there. Not as good there.
Yeah, like where
He
the
speaks
and even
from
like where the
experience.
camaraderie, right? Like it was meant to be like, oh, it's an interesting option, but then they removed the multiplicative version of it, which I think they should have just lowered the amount and made it multiplicative across the board. Would have been making it.
It
so
would have been a
much
better
cooler.
choice, yeah.
It would have been so much cool. I would use it on all weapons except the ones where like status chance is a must. Like it's just a case of like, if that was still multiplicative, word camaraderie would actually have quite a lot of value, but it just doesn't because of it.
Yeah.
I mean, you could see it as like a little extra crit to get yourself above, say, like, if the weapon can't hit yellow crits consistently, you could see it as a way of hitting it consistently at that point, but
Yeah,
other
but
than that,
like,
it's
what
not-
weapon does that while also like not being like AOE?
I don't know. I would have
Because
to
I'm thinking
find
like
that.
Ambassador could fit the bill, honestly.
Yeah,
That's
like
about
could
it.
technically fit the bill.
Yeah, I
You
guess
don't
Aeolak
really
and Ambassador would be
need
it,
that much.
but like, yeah.
Aeolak's damage gets carried by multiplicative load.
Yeah,
For
like, but
real.
it's just a case of like, if you wanted consistent yellows, like maybe if it makes a breakpoint, but that's like 2 weapons that might have value in it that we just mentioned. I don't think there's any more than that. Would
Yeah,
be
that's
interesting to
true.
see though, if there is any. Would like
Honestly,
to
they
have
could
that
have just nerfed the interaction for specific weapons, like Sporothrix, for example, like stuff that obviously breaks the intended way of building a weapon.
Is there any frame
well,
that
okay.
gets a longer shield gate with catalyzing shields compared to without? No, but Hildred has a longer shield gate than other frames still. So if you want to
No,
use
there's
her-
quite a few frames that at base get lower than 1.3 second shield,
Oh,
like
true.
shield gate.
Okay.
There is a few, like you can see it. I believe it's 240 shields. I believe is what you need to have 1.3.
Wisp does have
So if they have
insane
less
HP
than
regen, to be
240.
fair. One massive part of health taking is you need HP regen / heal. Very few frames heal HP. Off the top of my head is Wisp and Trinity, like it's rare as fuck. Yeah, somewhat.
It is until you realize Gloom is given to allies, and as long as you're in the Gloom range, you full heal every time you do any amount of damage. But
That is
yeah.
also one of the most underused parts of Gloom, like the actual heal, not the slowdown, but the heal.
People
like, all
use the slowdown.
People always
That
use it
is-
for the heal, man, not the slow.
Yeah.
And
I was about
am
to
I
say,
the
like-
psychopath for using it for
Yeah.
I mean,
there's-
I mean,
I've
I
seen
thought I
Jade
ru-
subsume. It's really good. If you want slow, Jade's is that's a hell of a subsume.
Well, I mean, pre-Jade, I could see it being used for the slow. The post-Jade, I would
Yes.
still probably use Gloom for the slow, because it's like 360, you know, right? Instead of being directional like Jade's is.
And
Yeah, but you need, like,
with
a
us now not needing
substantial
armor
strength.
strip anymore, like not as
You need a
much.
very substantial strength.
Oh, I'm operator bug.
It's not
Let's
crazy
go!
amount.
Like
Yay!
the base numbers is literally like in the like 30%.
It's like 30% at base, but even then, like a good 70% slow is more than enough generally.
Yeah, I guess,
Especially since it can stack with cold.
Yeah, I guess if you're happy with that small of an amount. But isn't there other helmet options for that then? Like, I don't know, Lullaby? Endless
Oh, no.
Lullaby?
Lullaby could be neat, yeah.
Endless Lullaby, just dude, what Mesa does: blind, jam, gun, sleep, and kill. Also stagger. That's why not.
Using the decaying key and cowling shields and is just well, no, you don't use the key. The key overwrites the gate when you use it.
He is snow from yesterday. I hope somebody in the chat gets that. They would have to be a fellow Middle European. I'm not gonna say the country.
Germany.
Is that what you mean? Oh, I was about to say like, what game would that be? But then I realized, oh yeah, the European. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Is triple augment Garuda an
That
actual
analogy
thing?
does fit quite a lot of European countries.
I don't know about triple augment Garuda because I don't play Garuda.
Yeah, I could see triple augment being quite good. You could use all four if you want. Does Blood Altar have one? I don't actually think that one has one. So maybe,
I
yeah,
think it
triple
does.
augment is fine.
I mean, I run double
Probably not
augment
good
limbo
anyway.
from time to time.
I'm not sure it
so-
does.
Yeah. But yeah, like triple augment Garuda is quite playable. The 4 augment is quite nice. I do like
Yep.
it. The 3 is really fun, depending on the weapon you use. Especially if you build for it, like Parangale. Use Parangale with Prime Chamber. Oh, it's so much damage. You will actually be the
For
best.
that you
in the
had to
Parangale.
have Prime Chamber.
Oh yeah, if you happen to have Prime Chamber, the most expensive singular mod in the game, hey, there's a
actually
fun
have
weapon
it.
for your Parangale.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm about to
Maybe you
get
should
it
try it,
when,
Sci-Fi. It's really fun.
when Barra gets around. I've been manifesting the Prime Chamber Incident 2.0. Also, speaking of
Yeah.
incidents, good video by the way.
Oh,
I
thank you.
strongly recommend. Wait, was it your video?
No, I thought you were talking about mine for a second. My bad. The Prime Chamber
I
video
would
is
need to
also
pick up
good.
quick.
I don't know why. I have no fucking idea why.
Yeah.
My bad.
But yeah, like for me, it's
Can I
more
get a
just a
pickup?
case of like Parangale is just like a killer weapon. Every time you can abuse Prime Chamber on it, it's like so
What?
dumb.
Rip, I guess.
What?
Res. I got smoked.
Oh yeah, you need to call it out for us because
I
we
did!
lost cross.
Chat,
Did
you heard it. Please tell me you heard it. I did like 5 times or something.
I didn't hear anything. I'm
it's-
sorry, man.
Yeah, we're sorry.
even pinged.
Oh god, now I feel like an ass. I should have seen the ping.
Yeah. My bad.
I just got like, I don't know what annihilated my ass, honestly.
Why have build identity when you can run Roar and Nourish Gloom on everybody? Oh god.
Hey, why have build variety when you can just have Ask and Lost Cross plus your only means of survival?
Like I am severe. What the fuck is going on? I'm severely bugged. I don't know what's happening.
Well, that's another showcase of my point, Sci-Fi, about how survivability should just be like less and less valuable the higher like activity you're willing to use for like level captains and stuff. Like we have Basket Kavat and we have Lost Grasp at the same time. If you're playing active enough, you cannot die.
I need a pickup because I'm fucking bugged.
Oh.
I was hovering sideways and I couldn't
Yeah.
cast abilities. I don't know if that's
Sorry,
the
do
common
you
thing.
or Dark know maths wise how much more damage is being dealt to level cap enemies with Prime Cryo with that extra elemental damage?
Prime Crow is a significant damage ramp to a weapon if you're building viral anyway.
If you're building around like viral or well, actually no, the blast proc itself doesn't take into account
the fuck
the
is going on?
elemental damage. I forgot.
Oh yeah, Blast is also cold. Yeah, if you ever have cold on a primary, Prime Crow is the best.
Oh fuck, we gotta
Guys?
oh guys.
Yeah, I can't do shit. That's the thing. I am fully bugged.
Uh-oh. We might have lost this.
Yeah, I fucked up. Someone came in and asked me a question. My bad.
Oh no, I'm good again. I'm speeding to to the thing. I don't know. Getting Kuva, I don't know what it is. Fixed it.
Oh shit.
We should. Now we got this.
Alright, I'm gonna stay behind it, this one to keep an eye on it. There we go. Oh, if
Okay,
you
we're
get
good.
bugged with your Warframe moving on the side by itself, just summon your Atomic Cycle, it fixes it for some reason. Oh!
It didn't work. I couldn't summon anything.
Oh.
I was gone, like fully gone.
Oh god. Only 3 times if it's your only element is cold, additive to elements mods, of course. Yeah, it's like a 3 times multiplier roughly from something like cryo rounds. Or not cryo rounds, sorry, what's that one called? It's the rifle mod, the 6060 for cold.
Chill? No, not Chill Clip. Fuck, that's a Destiny perk.
Yeah, no, I can speak.
Yeah,
No.
I think we all know what it is, but we just can't remember.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
What is it?
remember.
Why don't I know?
I'm going over to the next one. With Last Gas, Magismel, and X74 with all, or 47 with all the mana ray buffs and whatnot, and you play active, that glaive is so good for saving you, lol.
Yeah, like you could either use Madrai or Naramon. Both work well enough to get you up, especially if you use Magus Melt.
I
And it
feel
lets
like,
you just
what is it?
like Magus Melt alone, regardless of focus school, is enough with proper arcanes and stuff on your on your amp to res you, even at level cap.
What does Magus Map do again?
Heat damage for your on Void Sling.
Yeah, it's heat damage per Void Slide you do up to 7 times, depending on the rank of the arcane. You only need about rank 3 is more than enough to do level cap.
Yeah,
But don't tell
I still
anyone
need to
because the
get,
Riven
like,
the price will crash. But yeah,
I still need to get the arcanes and amps sorted out.
yeah, it's worth doing. It's quite good.
Yeah, it's just like I need to grind a bit more standing on Fortuna and
Which augment do you use on double augment limbo? Either it's Rift Torrent and Continuum. Sometimes it depends on the build.
You use Continuum?
Ironically, yeah, I found some niche uses for it. I mean, it's not a regular build.
Is it like the
regular-
Riot Bubble sniper setup? I guess.
It's like Riot Bubble with melee Vortex Glaive is how I do it.
Oh.
It's super
Yeah,
niche. It is super niche, but it works. It's nice. It's
Well,
comfy,
inside,
it
because
works.
of how much damage Valkyrie is getting with the rework, I am planning on doing a Vortex spell because she has 100% follow through on her claws,
Oh god.
and the range is getting buffed. So I'm going to do a Vortex build on the my Valkyrie once.
Wait, why was
the rework
Slam ironically just better than throwing the glaive?
I can't fucking move.
What the fuck? Why was slamming a glaive better than throwing it? I am
Cephalon.
confused.
happened? Maybe you Sci-Fi? Did you say slamming the glaive? What? You mean throwing it, right?
I said
I
throwing. What
slammed.
do you mean?
Oh. I was confused because
I
he was
said
talking
that it was-
about
It's
Someone
better,
help me! I got
uh,
violence over here.
because slamming
Oh,
the
wait.
glaive is never actually that much better because you get double hit, really strong. Well, maybe with Vortex, maybe slam would actually be better.
No,
Depends
I
on the
just
glaive,
slammed my path assist accidentally and it like almost 2 billion damage and it was like, huh? That shouldn't happen.
Like your throwing
I-
attack should do that much damage, no?
Yeah, my throwing attack does like, depending on how much I buff it, does like 1 billion to like 1.5 if I do like most of my buffs. But like, normally the slam does like, what, 600, 700 million? But not like that much damage. I guess it won't, like the whatever I hit was like
The
weakened
damage
or
would be
something.
about the same as a heavy, heavy attack, heavy
There's Zion
explosion.
again. Alright. Get over there.
Oh wait, can you kill the Thrax? I can press myself. Or the, yeah,
Good.
okay, works.
Ooh, arcanes over this way. I need them.
Bro, I'm getting cooked.
Vortex Gas Glaive is great. I can a test Serata go burr. Serata's great. It's a really good glaive.
Yeah, like the pathesis with the like you can have gas, viral, magnetic if you wanted to for vortex.
It's not bad.
You would have to get some status chance buff outside, like outsourced, but like could be quite good.
Varuna's first.
Tenet, Stalta, Wendy. Not so sure.
Like I might have to
about-
try, depending on this citrine augment that we get, I might actually have to try and do like a vortex pathesis with gas, viral, magnetic. The rift is fucking me over. God damn it.
My bad.
Where's Stabs when you need him?
God damn it, Limbo.
Yeah, I need that in my ears right now.
Thank you for the arcane.
God, the level scalings are so fucked. Ever since they removed the XMI bug, they have fucked the level scaling on Cascade.
Wait, did the XMI accelerate the level scaling?
No, it's just the fact that when they removed it, they did it in a half-assed way, so it lowered the scaling of all, like basically all the missions,
Oh.
or like most of like the newer content.
What time am I show up right when my name is mentioned? Hey, Stabs. He's in
Oh
the chat.
fuck no.
Tenet,
Stabs to your iconic line, please. I need it in my ears.
Tenet
Okay,
Shelter
also-
casually hitting overflow, be like. That'd be pretty funny.
Can we get that as a soundboard?
God damn it, Limbo. Maybe.
Yep.
I'd have to record it.
Also, like, yeah, I was about to say, Darko, can you give me a hand on these thoraxes?
Yeah,
I just
man.
keep getting rolled.
I just got the food, so I'm like eating at the side.
I
No
don't know.
worries.
I just got
I-
rolled by like 7 thoraxes on my ass. And they
So
couldn't kill me
everybody-
fast enough.
Something important to mention. This is the level of skill Darku has in Cascade. He can eat while playing.
Well, it's to be fair, I'm playing like the most active piece of shit build. I should.
Hey,
I might have
Steve.
screwed myself a bit, but hey,
Give me bio
just means I might have to
resources.
activate my neurons.
Oh,
This is the
the
challenge I
footies up.
wanted. Like one thing I'm actually kind of hyped for, because like, because from the looks
Why?
of it, right? Because Garuda is like one of the few frames that I find fun to play, like regardless of the content of level, because it feels like I'm immortal but also can die. I wonder if Valkyrie will feel the same. If she does, she might be my new main frame, like unironically.
Honestly, nothing will beat Spider-Woman. I need her.
Oh yeah, the Spider Woman.
now.
Oh, she's most likely just gonna become my main. depending on how
I
much
looked at
she's
her and I was immediately like wood repeatedly.
I mean, I mean, raw next
The
question.
JoJo memes. they're
Now, honestly, I like this was a frame, like a concept. If she turns out the way I think she does, this will be the frame concept that I was waiting for, unironically.
To be fair, from the wording they used, it seemed to be another like kind of Garuda style frame.
Like some form of assassin.
If
Yeah,
she's,
but like berserker assassin kind of thing. So
if
she's
she
going to be
chills on the
very
walls or
Garuda.
something, that'd be cool.
Yeah, like very Garuda or Valkyr kind of in playstyle. Which is kind of interesting because that means Garuda, Valkyr, and this new frame will cannibalize their own player audience, or it would just be like maybe she is a more caster or gun frame version of the three. I
I
don't know.
hope she's more gun for like based.
Either gun or like very caster. I want one of the two because she clearly is a berserker style in gameplay. Like her gameplay loop is a berserker in gaming. Like from the sounds of it. Obviously, could happen that like that's just two of her abilities or whatever, and she ends up actually being kind of summoner. I really want that. Me and Stabs
Honest-
both
yeah.
really want that. But
Yeah.
I want one ability of her should be to summon like little spiders that crawl out and form like webs and then draw in enemies and like bind them to kind of like weaken, and then the ability of leeching health and energy from those like tangled enemies could come into play. Also that's a wording was used that she can execute those. Is something that I'm really looking forward to. I hope that has like an animation with her legs.
like the
Like
one
her
thing I
spidey legs.
want, like what I wanted was like I was thinking like, oh Zerg, like fucking like hive mindy, like summoning spiders that
Ooh.
all like work together with her, and like she uses them to sacrifice them to do stuff.
So
That was what I hoped.
what is it? Yeah, Darku. Remember, there's an arcane that would be perfect with her. Someone mentioned in the chat, Arcane Arachne. If she works like we think she will.
Unironically, probably wouldn't even be that. Like Arachne, I don't understand the hype for Arachne. It's such a conditional, like it's such a conditional buff, I say, but like it's not that
It's
conditional.
so easy.
But, like,
You just wall latch for a second, you get 30 seconds of universal weapon buff for all your weapons. It's good.
I use Arachne on my main build.
yeah, it's just a case of like I just find like why
it's just-
bother kind
it's
of.
just
I prefer
nice.
vicious swap. I prefer
Yeah.
vicious swap more so. Even like
But to be
holster amp,
fair-
I would prefer over it. Maybe it's just because
be
I
fair,
value
so-
my arcane slot more.
That probably is, because it's just very consistent, so I don't see why it would be a bad thing to have that kind of buff, you know? It's just very consistent and easy to get.
Yeah, it's just the fact that it's an arcane slot that make me like kind of not care about it. If it was a mod, it would just be vicious swap, but like worse. But like it would like be more of like something I would maybe use.
Can we get this extra quick? I think. Yeah, thank you.
Like I do use it in like a
Thank
handful of
you.
builds, but like that's when I'm
What?
min-maxing the damage, which I rarely ever
not
need.
supposed
Just
to
like
survive
even if
this.
it's damage cap, I just kill.
Arachne is multiplicative, it's insane, but also I'm with you, fuck hugging walls. Not exactly.
It's not multiple.
It's not multiplicative. It's a base
It's
damage.
universal.
It's a universal base damage bonus, so it's like Limbo's Rift Torrent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
they
it's
actually
not
go on the
like
same
that
slot.
even. It's like even more than that. It's like it works with more things. It has like a whole slew of things that it works with, and like things that it arguably shouldn't work with.
Well, I mean,
like
Limbo's...
abilities. of some
well,
kind.
yeah, Limbo's Rift Torrent also works with some abilities too. It's coded the same, like a Vigorous Swap.
Gale Force.
It doesn't
No,
work
not
on
Gale
our
Force, what
upper
was it?
Yeah, it does. It works with abilities. It works with like Neutron Star and stuff. And even you know that new ability that Flare has. You know the Ripper one or whatever it is. You know the Fire Pillars. It works with that too.
That is busted.
Yeah, it's dumb as fuck. It is so dumb.
Yeah, but like I said, I hope that Araxia doesn't get as much attention. But this is probably like she will be like.
So, have you seen the old Spider-Frame fan concept on Twitter? Someone made the whole model where the legs split in 4 to give her 8 in total. That'd be interesting.
But like I was saying, I think that honestly it will be that way. Pubster's gonna fucking freak out because feet. Now she has 6 of those.
Do we still care about Pubsker? I don't understand. I don't understand how he has.
No, it's just a
players.
fucking meme.
It's a meme.
Yeah, but I don't understand how he has any like say in the Warframe space at all. Like actually.
No, he doesn't like at all. But like it is.
Like he
it is
doesn't
just
play the
funny.
game.
He is out.
He makes
outwardly
content
said he
for the
doesn't
money.
really play it. Yeah.
Like he's making it exclusively for the money, and still he
Yeah.
somehow gets respect from some players. At least you're not one of them. Like it's like actually hilarious. Like he's honestly
why would you?
honestly the worst content creator in the space. in
Oh
my
yeah,
opinion.
that's why when I eventually do my H. Bongberg guy style video where I talk about Warframe creators, I plan to make him the 2-hour spot that would have been taken up by what's his name, James Somerton in H. Bomber guy's video.
Because like for me, it's like actually like he literally do not play the game, yet people actually want his opinion on stuff. Like it's like the like he doesn't even have like he might have at some point very far back in time had some very baseline casual understanding of the game, but that's like 10 years ago at this point.
Bro's a fucking relic.
He's older than the relics, to be fair. His knowledge is
True.
before the new relic system that we're currently using.
Yeah, he doesn't retain much if any of it, which makes it even funnier.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Why was my atomic cycle summon on my?
God, I actually got toxic there. Jesus. Need
Energy
to
pad.
rehearse myself.
Somebody took control.
Like, I didn't
like-
care about him at all until I did the fucking Pubsker level cap where we did his, like, modern tier list build, and his Ivara had steel fiber and an empty mod
Oh,
slot,
God.
and he still rated her in the tier list.
It was
hilarious.
dumb, and I remember seeing the Limbo build he did too, and I was just like, "Arr, no, that's terrible."
Honestly, I would have liked to see his explanation of Limbo's abilities. Also, we need to kind of hustle a bit because
Yeah, I'm trying to
We're gonna
defend
get
one of these
very-
right now.
yeah, I'm zooming. God, I love how Varuna has four passives. Very underrated, very bad frame rate here.
I'll go to the new area as well to help. And
Yeah, I'm coming over now. His videos is what I
There's one
learned the
with
game
Catalyst,
from
I
when I
think.
started. Yeah. Oh, Ashiogi. Yeah, I remember him. He was great. Like, I even talked with him once, and he was pretty cool.
yeah, like I believe, like, if you wanted to, like this is gonna sound odd given like all the things I've said in the like very recent time. I believe Roseheim is like probably one of the better content creators to watch for the first
What
time.
the
like,
fuck?
when you start playing the game.
He's good.
Oh, when you start playing the game, okay, yeah, that is
yeah,
a
when you start
He's
playing.
good to
needed
get
addition.
you out of steel, like 2 steel pack. Like he's good at getting you 2 steel pack.
The way I look at him is this: he's good at knowing where to find things, right? How to get certain things. But when it comes to builds, stay as far away from that man as you possibly can.
It depends on the frame though. Like there's some builds he clearly knows like some frames and how to build them, right? It's just depends on the frame. It can vary frame by frame case.
Where's Mania, by the way? Oh,
He's
Like I
at
learned
me
stuff
on
from his
the second.
Titania build, for example. Like his
I one-shot
Titania
him.
build.
Oh,
I
that
like
was
learned-
me. I doubt that he
I was
one-shot
dead.
him.
No, I was dead then. I just got popped into operator, and like apparently I was dead when I was an operator. Well,
Well, yeah. Remember, when you have whatever's kind of as a channel ability active, right? You take damage, but it's like 90% TR. So you
oh
can
yeah,
die
my
while
dead
that
dread
happens.
mirror actually counts as an attack. I forgot.
Yep.
I'm
Reason
using
why is
Hazard.
something like the augment for. Oh no, is that? I think this one's bugged. One of the XLS is stuck in the corrupted state.
Where? Which one?
The top run. Oh, this one is. Oh, never mind. Okay, I just don't see the things apparently. I'm blind.
This one up here.
Yeah, the one up top is.
Oh no, there
bugged.
it is. Got it. He was just hiding.
Hiding.
Yeah, it was just hiding. It's a little shy. you
Hiding.
know?
My ping is spiking. Why am I getting 500 ping?
I mean, I live
My
in America
connection
and you
to
live in
this
Europe,
is-
Europe, so.
Oh, it's back now. It's
Amazingly
back to
bad.
180. It's back. No worries. Shouldn't be a worry.
Oh my god, why is he
Hey,
not
my
in the
amp
rift?
shots are finally connecting. Nice.
God damn it.
Good change. Would recommend.
Can frames just be invincible while you are an operator, please? I hate that level cascade then the spheres. I'm assuming it's like a balancing thing, most likely, but it's still kind of stupid how inconsistent it is.
They need to redo the list of channeled abilities that stop you from being immune in operator. That's like a big pain point for Cascade.
Why can't you?
Because some abilities should not count for getting you vulnerable while in operator.
Yeah.
Like
same
Gloom,
with
I
the
can
Harrow
understand
augment.
slightly, but I cannot
if it-
understand like some exalted weapons and stuff.
Wait, does Sight's Neuralizer make you?
Yes,
Yeah,
if it's an
Vulnerable?
exalted weapon, it will make you vulnerable.
because
The
it's
fuck?
channeled power. Is why.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, I remember.
But it's some channel powers like aren't even channels. Like Ivara's bow is counted.
Limbo's stasis and
Jade's-
Cataclysm are counted. Yeah.
Yeah,
Really
like
dumb.
Jade's eyes are not counted, even though they should fall into the stasis argument.
Yep. It is too inconsistent.
I have a friend.
Like it's inconsistent as hell, just the same as how quick thinking is hell inconsistent at high ping.
Right.
Because I have never died this early with this build, because I was doing solo level cap
No,
at
and
that
this
1.5
this
weeks
connection
ago.
is fried.
I'm sorry, boys. You're connected to someone who lives
You're
in
fine.
America.
We will make do. It's fine. We will get you to level cap.
I'm going to one of the other ones.
Yeah, there are like a million Thraxes there that you cannot kill because of a hit connection. Honestly, they need to fix hit connection on amps, like now.
Like the hit connection is more just a server issue.
Yeah, like it's bad.
To be fair, it would also be risky though to make it better, because like it is peer-to-peer, and I can tell you already, if you're technically advanced enough, you will be able to find people's actual emails and stuff like that from your connection to people. Sometimes.
Right,
There has
I'm
been
getting
times-
hacked through my fucking amp. Good one. Also, I need to pick up pin.
No, I mean like just from like the host, right? Like theoretically, if we were technically like savvy enough and
Oh, you guys
cared
are
enough,
far gone.
we could
yeah.
find exactly the IPs of everyone, right? I'm not gonna tell anywhere where you should even go to start to do that, because I don't want to say that. But
Yeah, don't. Please.
there is a thing that you can do. Like the fact is, like, there is things you can do, and that is one of them.
Yeah, peer-to-peer connection was always like kind of bad for security.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a
Always
reason why,
mummies,
like, it's like normally they have very strict protections. Don't know why D hasn't, probably because they don't have the ability to with how much spaghetti it is, but well, it does have a lot of protections.
Oh,
It's just-
Darko, did you watch the? Oh, I did not send you the video, right? The video I sent? No, I did not. The video with the game dev talking about Warframe's code.
Yeah, I've seen that.
That video is so fucking good.
Is that the one from 2017?
No, recently,
No, very
Caliban
recently,
augment.
covering
Oh.
the dev stream. Not the dev. Yeah, it was the dev stream, where they went into the code covering like how to make an augment for a Warframe and shit.
Yeah,
Oh, send that to me. I would actually like to see
Yeah, I
how
can-
they've changed.
it's a good
It got
watch.
recommended to me very randomly.
It's a good watch.
It's like 50 something. What is it? 50 minutes? I'm not sure. It's not that short, but I guess it's very good insight as well, because you actually get to know what is actually going on screen, and not only like see like figure stuff out yourself.
People would rather look at Wisp's assets than bother with all the hacking bojo. True.
Yeah, and Valkyr's joining in on the gang of gang of goons.
Sci what gang were you using? None. I don't remember. I just randomly made it. I just remembered Glaive Good.
So
Like somehow
using
all of the
a-
Warframe community is just a bunch of Italian mob boss minions, apparently. Like it's,
Like the way I look at it is, even though
20
those
million
problems
registered
exist.
losers. Like, god damn.
Yeah, true.
God, those memes.
I do think that
I think
hacking
that she said
shit,
that
because
was
like I know about it too. I actually learned it through Nev a while ago and how it works.
Yeah.
But I don't go looking for it because I just don't. You know, I just
It
don't
would
think it's
not
right.
be. You would not be able to even use it unless you were very technical savvy.
Yeah. And like
And like even if you knew it, you wouldn't be able to like actually know if it's the correct one, because most people, like at least if you
Oh,
care
yeah,
about
like-
online security, use a VPN, right? So like,
Yeah. Yeah, there's just like, even then, there's just no incentive to really do that sort of thing, but it's also not good that it exists in the first place.
I mean, what are you gonna do with only the IP? You know where the person lives. Great.
Well, I mean, you could, you know, have you heard of the story of a guy who got so mad at someone in Call of Duty, they found the guy online and then went into his home and shot him to death over a game?
So the thing is, I don't live in the fucking cooked US. Sorry that I.
oh yeah, US
Yeah.
is so bad. Like you don't even
So-
have to do that yourself. They have law enforcement to do that for you.
True.
So the thing is, because I live in
Oh,
Europe,
that's
it is
sad.
very highly unlikely that a random guy would just come up to my house and be like, "Nah, you're dead now."
God,
It is highly
The
unlikely.
US is so cooked. So it's a like I knew a content creator. I have to say knew
Oh,
now
no.
because of the swatting, but like it's ridiculous that that is the thing that exists.
I need help. My last gas. Oh, I'm dead.
Yeah, I can. No problemo.
Like it's actually worth it for like every content creator to make sure that like in the US at least can get into contact with
Oh,
like
there's
police
one
and law
invisible
enforcement to be
again.
like, hey, I am a content creator. I can easily have my address leaked. Do keep that in mind.
Is
kind
yeah,
of thing.
well, one of those is invisible again, right?
Like it's very ridiculous.
Oh, I think we're dead.
Yeah, I think all the creator just does it for you.
Oh my god, there's like 7 Thrax on me.
Yeah, that was what happened earlier to me as well.
Garuda is not the frame to play one-handed.
Obviously.
I should have probably played like
cover for a bit,
Zaku.
like-
Their ass is way better.
True, actually.
Ah.
Unironically true.
Yeah, they are like 11 Thraxes over here. Darkrai can take over for you over there. Just help Sai, I guess, real quick.
Mania! He's after me! Don't ragdoll me! There we go. I got him. Holy. Oh, come on.
Okay,
oh my God, this
we
one's
recovered.
Thrax.
We recovered.
Why all the Thraxes, man? Why?
Because
God, my
funny
thing
game
is
mode.
spiking consistently now, so quick thinking only works like half the time. Because every time your ping spikes, quick thinking shuts off.
Oh god.
What?
Which is like the funniest thing. Please fix quick thinking, please.
What do you mean you don't
Please.
find the stick bug skin attractive?
To be fair, I am using probably the best Garuda Tenogen skin. So. Jeez,
Bro,
this
Garuda
conversation.
is
Oh
the
my
stick bug
God.
frame.
Oh my god. there's
Honestly,
like
we should just
4
hop over to
Thraxes.
First Ascendant. At least they have an end game, honestly.
Nah, shut up. Warframe better. IMO.
It's better for those of the baby stature or mid-game stature. Once you're in end game, I believe First Ascendant has a bit more to offer.
The thing is, my problem,
my
I have
God,
enjoyed so
Jesus.
much, and I'm using enjoyed very loosely here. I hope you
There we go.
get the the irony. I have enjoyed so much endgame in Destiny for an entire lifetime and maybe another one. It is actually atrocious.
Oh, that's the bad game. First Ascendant actually has some fun bossing. A lot of fun bossing and like a lot of relic and like a lot of like endless like replayability content.
Should I call a doctor when she starts to play?
What?
What the fuck is that comment, Nick?
Should I call it doctor?
Can you read that real quick?
That has to be the most crazy thing I've heard.
Yeah.
And like, it
I
depends.
find the stick
Yeah, that's
bug
the word.
skin
Like,
attractive.
the answer to that is it depends.
Oh man. If
I
Frog and
am
Sci-Fi
worried.
invite me to First Ascendant, I would try it. I mean, I don't even play First Ascendant, so I don't really care.
First Ascendant is fun.
Oh, Darker, you're down. You're dead. Shit. You died.
Well, I
Maybe.
literally have no energy. Great! Let me go back over here. There should be plenty.
Gives me time to properly eat.
Yeah, the thing is, because my connection is so bad, and how the way glaive projectiles work, I am getting no hits. Like, what the fuck?
You can't go for the double hit. And it will happen.
I mean, I'm just not getting any damage numbers at all.
I'm right now keeping an eye on this spot.
Hey, Thresh,
Yeah,
what are
Did
you?
compile for First Ascendant. It's like a big issue. Every update you had to do it. Wouldn't take 30 minutes though. Maybe the first time you logged in, but that maybe like you said. Or you had like a
Oh, yeah.
weak enough graphics card where you were not really able to run First Ascendant anyway.
Garuda Successor skin is so goated. I don't know what that is.
I think that is the one I'm using.
Ah, okay.
What are you munching on, Mr. Math Guy?
What, you don't
Hey.
know odd names by the Tenogen artists that they give to skins that somehow try to have any resemblance to the like visual?
Oh, yeah, I'm fucking dead. Rip!
Alright, let me go over here. I have a EVGA 2070 with an i7 7700, so I don't know, should be fine. I tried, but it took 30 minutes to log on because of shader compiling. Oh, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, rip.
Yeah, the first time would be, but like, yeah.
I mean, what is it? The Dead Space remake has that. Where like, so context, amazing game, one of my favorite like renditions of the game they've ever done, right? But it's so annoying when you play it for the first time on PC because it makes you compile the shaders as you play the first time, like Elden Ring does it. So the first time you play it, it's jittery as fuck,
What?
which kind of kills the experience a little bit.
Yeah, maybe the CPU is a bit too weak actually for shader compiling. Maybe that's why it took so long.
Well, no, my CPU is a 7700X.
No, I meant the Gremlin Stone.
Oh, okay, okay.
I now have heard like 10 iterations of somebody saying that guy's name. I'm sorry. I honestly feel fucking bad for that guy.
I'm sorry. I can't.
Is it
reach
not
at that well.
Gremlin Stone?
I'm fucking.
I
Bro!
love Warframe's optimization.
Can I get
I
a
mean,
jump real quick,
Stab's
if possible?
Stab's computer
Oh,
is
that-
proof of how good the optimization of Warframe is.
It is. It
Yeah.
doesn't exist. I'm just dying.
It
over
doesn't
here.
exist, but somehow it's still running on a potato.
I'm almost dead. Fuck.
What the f? I'm invisible!
You can't even say my name.
Yeah, honestly, I think we're cooked. Like,
I think we are cooked. Yeah.
yeah, I'm just gonna go to exit right now, like to extract.
Oh shit! Oh my god! I keep getting my ass. So many enemies.
I'm actually getting.
But I'm going to have to remember that I cannot play quick thinking with NA players. I need to remember that.
I should have hosted, but like, actually.
Probably wouldn't have helped because I ended up still eating, so I ended up playing one-handed anyway.
My guy,
But I think I
you
needed
wouldn't
to
have
swap
had problems
frames,
with
ideally.
quick thinking.
Okay,
It
yeah,
is a
we're-
debuff.
Yeah, let's. Yep. We're not gonna finish
Yeah.
this.
I.
Oh, I'm
had
dead, by the way. That's why I haven't revived.
Oh, that's why.
Oh.
Oh. Oh man.
Oh, I mean, yeah. The thing is, I had so much energy struggles because I couldn't kill enemies because of how Vuna's 3 works and as her like main energy way of gaining energy, and like, bro, if you don't get killed, you're not gonna get like any energy.
Can't believe I
mean,
played
like-
Warframe like that, Gremlin Stone. That's funny.
Let me fucking get this guy's name. I wanna see that again.
Not Gremlin Stone. Gremlin Stone, could you please tell us how you pronounce the name?
If you
It's
want to
because
do a
it's
challenge for
Gremlin
bragging
Stone.
points, put me as host for a survival mission and then level cap it. Oh god. That would be so bad.
Now we need to do that because we know it's only gonna last about 3 hours.
Okay, never mind.
max,
I
right?
apologize. I take it back. I kind of
Gremlin
got
Stone
some
simple.
other.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of got some other letters mixed in there.
Okay. Ooh, Nightwave. What did I get? More
Man, Sai, we should
is-
unironically do that. That would actually be a cool attempt.
We would be using life supports like every 3 minutes because his
What do you guys?
potato
What
PC
what
would...
was the thing?
No.
Then we would have to go insane DPS.
No, the problem is that because it has PC, it can't spawn enough even if we were to go high DPS. Like, do you know what his PC is?
Yeah, but I'm saying like the idea is we kill them so quickly that they always die in their spawn rooms. That way we can maximize the chance. And like a Necros, maybe a high, yeah, only a Necros actually would work. But like a Necros with like triple Varuna setup.
We never finished that Nick the Ninja.
Two
We got pretty far, but never finished it. I want to finish that at some point, though. We would
Kitty
need to
level,
pray to
huh?
God.
Kitty level cap. Oh, Kitty capture level cap.
Like the Legasite stuff.
Oh yeah, the one that's still bugged. So you only get 1,000 kills where you can fast forward the mission, and then you can't do it at anything quicker than a snail's pace.
I see. Alright. Well,
Because fun fact, it hasn't been fixed yet, Sci-Fi. It hasn't. Like we tried to level cap it
man.
day one. I tried to level cap day one. I got to 1,000 kills, 5 Legasite kills, and it was a snail's crawl. The rest,
alright.
like I
well,
literally stopped after like an hour because like I only got like 12 kills.
Yeah, that sounds ass. I'm pretty sure Asiago's Limbo guide was what got me into him. It was one of the things that made me interested in Limbo too, because it was a good guide for the time. It just sucks that he's gone though, because I like the stuff.
God, I remember a specific guy who did a great guide like way long time ago.
You mean Warframe?
God, he's a name that none of you, if you didn't play, like do a lot of like viewing of Warframe in like the 2015s, you aren't gonna know.
Alright, so I think that was a good level cap attempt. We got pretty close at the very least. We got pretty far.
Oh yeah, Makari, he is a oldie. He had a great limbo guide.
We're gonna blame it on the ping, on the bad servers.
Still can't understand why Shy nuked her channel. She just got tired of the game. I don't blame her. Well, Dark, if you want to attempt it, let me know. I can allow you to do some test runs with me so you know how bad my PC actually is and why it's a wonder that I
Oh,
can
I
still play
already
this
know.
game.
We have tried, we have tried. I tried with Hydrate. I really did. We would need like 3 Varunas all built to
Asiago quit because he didn't like the direction he took the company and it was causing him financial problems, I think. That's fair. That's understandable. I know he still plays from time to time, though. Like, he streams on Twitch every so often. I remember when, the time that I actually talked with him was when, what was it? Deviri came out, actually. And it was, like, before I actually started really doing the content. And I just spent... Because I think almost nobody was on his stream on Twitch at the time, but I was still subbed to his channel. I happened to be online when he was playing, and me and him were just having a back and forth conversation for like a good hour, maybe. Just talking about the game a little bit, and it was nice. He seems like a pretty cool guy. Kind of wish he would still be around. But hey, things happen. It's understandable.
Yeah, like I'm still surprised at how people can still bother with Warframe, making Warframe content. Because like, where's the gameplay? Where is it?
I mean,
You
I
just see
like...
dead rooms of hallways of enemies. I
Well,
guess
the thing
this
is...
cascade
well,
counterpointed me, but hey.
Well, the thing is, Darku, is that the way I look at it is just because you can do that doesn't mean you have to do that. You know what I mean? Like, you can intentionally weaken yourself if you want to have that challenge, and I think people should get more, in my opinion, people should get more acquainted with optimizing for engagement and comfort rather than just pure damage, because then you get burnt out really fast. You know?
Or just play frames that inherently give you more room for vulnerability, like Garuda, like Valkyr might actually end up being on this list, like Banshee, unironically.
Yeah, like frames that have, even though they have the mechanics,
Means
if you
of
will,
dying.
Yeah, they have means
They
of
have
dying.
means of dying.
Yeah, they have something where like you kind of have to play around it, which is honestly why I like Limbo so much, because I have to play around its mechanics, you know? It makes them
wish
fun.
Hydrate's puddle would come back. They said they were going to bring it back. It hasn't come back. Like I
Remember
really
they
do
said-
wish if I just could whole cast title search, get old pool, it would have been perfect. I would have played him
Remember,
every day.
they said they planned to bring Drifter Melee to Star Chart, and that never happened, so I doubt it.
Yeah.
Alright, by the way, so I want me to send the old Spider-Frame concept to you. Really think you'd like it? If you're in the Discord, yeah, you could send it in general
Also,
or
on
in
the topic of
Singularity.
sending, Darker, I'm gonna give you.
I think once
link
you're
to
an
the
endgame
video.
player in Warframe, you ultimately have to just make things up to do in your mind, otherwise you will just quit. Even after over a decade,
Yeah.
he still hasn't gotten around to making an endgame. Yeah.
No, we have had endgame. We've had an endgame. I tell you this much. We have had endgame. Like they literally killed it with like about a month after Steel Path was released. They killed that, so that was no longer an endgame. But we still had a bit of an endgame with like level capping and stuff, endurance, stuff like that. Then Cascade came around, invigorated the game genre, and then they fucking killed that because they wanted to remove the fun from the Eximus bug instead of just keeping it for Steel Path specifically at higher enough levels. Like the fucking Eximus, like the 4 weeks of 1999. Oh, it was the best fucking like time to be a Warframe endgame player. Then they killed that. You don't add it back.
And I think the problem with DE personally, when it comes to it, is that I feel like I know that they say that they don't want to build around level capping and stuff, and I kind of get that, but I think to an extent they should give the tools to at least allow it, if that makes sense, right? Like
the tools to allow it exist. It's just the fact that we don't have an end game. Like even level cap isn't really level cap anymore after Jade and before Jade, to be fair.
yeah.
Like the only time endgame felt endgame was in the like 4 weeks after 1999 where it was bugged Xmas spawns because we had so many enemies. Like enemies were flooding. Like 1999, like alone, like the 1999 missions itself, like the survivals and stuff like that, are great endgame feeling because they actually have hordes. They keep spawning so quickly and gets to you quicker. Like you'd actually feel like it's a horde shooter, you know. Like what D doesn't understand is like they need to up the like enemy spawns with levels. Like they do to an extent, but it's not even close to enough.
I want
like if
super
they just
jump back. That'd be funny.
like literally all they would have to do is reintroduce the bug of Xmas and enable it only for level 1000 plus and disable Toxin and Jade to be like max 1 at all times. Like it would never be able to have more than 1. And you would have like a fine endgame because you would have like Cascade to get to endgame quicker, like getting to level 1000 quicker. Inevitably, if we get like Steel Path Plus where it's 1000 plus at the get-go, you would have like an endgame there. Like because like the problem right now is just we don't have enough enemies because we want to accommodate these like decade-old machines that literally were outdated by the day they were released in like 10 years ago. Like we just have like the Switch is here, like the Switch, like it isn't like it's not able to do multi-enemy combat in the way of Warframe.
Yeah.
They could do other ways, but not with Warframe specifically. Like, if they just said, screw it, we're making Steel Path Plus Plus, which is not for Switch, or these, like, limited specs has hosts.
Even
like,
when
let's say they only could
were
join as a
around,
player.
they nuked that. Yeah. I hope they bring those back at some point. It'd be pretty cool.
Raids, let's be honest, like, people look fondly on raids. They were not really an end game.
Well, no,
like,
but at least they
a
were an
party
activity. They were an activity that you could at least do, you know, right? Like, maybe not
Yeah, but
make it the defining
The-
endgame concept, but at least it was something you could do repeatedly, you know, right?
I would argue the Viri puzzles are the raids, but better.
That's
Like,
an interesting take, alright.
It's like raids wasn't really much of like like they weren't really that special, like really, like when we look back at it objectively, not with the rose tinted glasses that we all love and want to think back on and like, oh, I want the raids of that. Like we don't really, we want a modern raid, we want raids like normal games have, like, or bossing like normal games get. Like Borderlands is a great example. Like hordes come at you in waves where the boss takes over the stage sometimes and like fight them. And
Yeah.
Like, we want like actual bossing, or we want actual hordes of enemies. Like that's what we ideally would want. Getting an 8-man lobby would be nice, if it means we can have a bigger horde,
Borderlands.
like even bigger horde.
Borderlands. That could be
Yeah,
interesting.
I can't wait for Borderlands 4. Depending on how good the like replayability of that game is, I might just fuck Warframe. like it's just a case of like we end up with this dynamic where endgame was supported by DE. Like we did have it. They took it away, then made it easier to do, then they took it away again to like loosen the challenge. And now they're unwilling to go back and actually make it easier. Because if Cascade still was 40 minutes, you could consistently get 40-minute level cap. Like even solo, I struggle to do it in an hour now after the Xmas changes. Like I do it about an hour to 58 minutes when I really try hard. But like, say they just boosted all of like level scaling. Like let's say survival instead of 8 hours, it was 4, and you got to level 4k plus in an hour. Like you could just have it be like immediately after an hour has passed, quadruple level scaling and plus 1,000 levels right out the gate, right? Like just do something as simple as that would just enable endgame without harming the current player base.
Hasn't Pablo Shiv
'Cause-
admitted once in a dev stream they both do not know how to make an endgame, and they will have to nerf everything to the ground to make an endgame, which will enrage everyone?
But they don't have the nerf. Like they are just objectively wrong with that statement because we have had like an end game feel from like specifically the Xmas bug from 1999. Many people hated it. I get that. Like it was a horrible thing for normal's path to have. It was even a horrible thing for like base star chart steel path to have. But once you got to like Zeraman, Murmur, Omnia Fissures, like did they really need to remove it there?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, that's
I don't
my, like,
know
main-
about that, Sirius, because it's like I'm trying to think what's a good comparison that I'm trying to think of. Because like no offense, I know that we praise Pablo a lot, but I quite frankly don't entirely think he knows how to balance the game that well half the time. From what I've seen over the 3 years I've been
He knows
in
how
this game.
to he knows how to lessen a blow of dominance. He doesn't know how to nerf things in a real way. Like Dante's nerfs. I don't believe Paolo was the one who did that, but like that's next a showcase of the not knowing the nerf that was needed. Like Dante, he
It was
Sci-Fi,
the
you remember
overguard.
this, right?
Yeah, it was the overguard that needed to be nerfed, not so much. I mean, yes, the
no,
three...
I'm talking about with the overguard. They did nerf the overguard. That's what I'm trying to get at, right? Like the Dante nerfs they did was they lowered the cap of overguard from 50k to about 30k, I believe, or something like that. They lowered the cap. I don't remember the cap,
Well,
but they lowered the cap on overguard.
no, it's
but
not
then
the overguard
doubled
value.
the gain.
It's the what is it? It's the ability to recharge the overguard that wasn't nerfed. You know
Yeah,
how like
that
when
was
you
the
run
real
out.
problem.
Yeah, that was the problem that should have been changed, but it wasn't.
But like even then, even if they didn't do that, they doubled the regen of overguard from final verse, and they
Yeah.
also lowered the cap. Like lowering the cap was a good thing. Don't hate that. But then they doubled the regen, so you ended up with more effective overguard in the levels where overguard
Yep.
actually was a health bar. So they like quadrupled the EHP by quote unquote nerfing overguard. So like it's just a case of like where they really should have done was either completely rethink of how the overguard would be gained, like making it so you had to use your second ability. That's my favorite way of doing it, where you had to use your second ability to gain overguard from your 4th ability. Or just make it so it was a bit less. Like they should have made it so you would have to overguard gate, not just overguard tank at like basic levels. That way you would at least have to make sure you get a kill every some odd seconds, like 2 seconds. Because you don't even have to do that, because the overguard is still strong enough and a large enough amount. And when you do trigger the regen, it's a significant regen. To where, like, at base path, you are immortal. Even without a kill every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
God,
It's a whole thing with those Dante nerfs. That was a whole clusterfuck when that happened. Like,
yeah.
absolute clusterfuck.
Just, like, the damage arguably was the thing I was fine with. Like, him having a massive, like, expedite suffering is fine. They could lower the base numbers to be nothing if they really wanted to.
The only problem...
Stop the LOS there.
The only problems they had was the line of sight part. Like the line of sight was a problem, I would say. Like the lack of
on release, it was bad. It ended up
was
being
really
good
bad.
after the fact, and I liked it
'cause they
after the
changed.
fact.
And they ended
but
up
light
fixing-
verse should have been. Yeah.
Ended up fixing line of sight for a bunch of other frames too, which is good. So it inadvertently helped a lot of other frames. And then the overguard regen part was a problem. They fixed one of the problems, they didn't fix the other problem, which I don't think
And then they made
realized.
They also made a new problem because Lightverse should have been the only ability with line of sights on Dante's kits. Because if Lightverse had a line of sight, right, like that's what it has, right? So it would be fine, right? Like you had a way of doing slash procs and you could expedite suffering with your fourth. If the expedite also could do allies dot or dots from like a door away, like maybe give it some way of checking for punish through. I don't know how they could make that work, but like some way of making the expedite suffering proc actually key up like good range and like have some utility with your teammates damage, then it would have been a fine thing, right? Like he could have damage. It's just a problem of his survivability being too strong for the damage he had.
Yeah.
Like it's just like
Sierra
like-
says, I think the biggest problem is simply that DE fears their own player base. Too many unhinged individuals that cry and wail over changes that actually improve the game. This fault affects the game as a whole. Yeah. I would say that's part of it. That's part of it, not the whole issue, though.
Yeah, that's why my suggestions for endgame is always centered around like things that you would have to go out of your way to get.
Yeah.
Like outside of Cascade, obviously. Like you would have to go out of your way to be in a survival mission for an hour before the scaling really ramps up significantly, really quickly to get like 3-hour level caps in survival. Like that would have been a cool change because it would like immediately get you to level cap quicker, which is the fun part. Once you are at level cap,
It also
it's fun.
creates its own problems as well, where they keep trying to balance things for where we currently play, when in due time where we currently play is going to be much, much higher than it is. So if you keep trying to balance things for lower level missions, eventually those things will need to get fixed anyway, so it kind of makes the point of nerfing them that way kind of redundant.
It's also like, but the thing is, as well though, like the level scalings is like what, plus 40 levels a year ish.
Well, it
That's
depends,
like the
but
average.
the thing is that if
Every 2
if,
years we get about a bump of 100 levels, like on
Well-
top of the old ones.
Well, remember as well, if we're getting more content like EDA and ETA, right, which are like multiple levels above, what if we get one that starts at, say, level 1,000 at some point? You know what I mean, right? And it's like
that would
it
be
actually...
that would probably be it would be about 7 years given the current route they're using.
No. Like, I'm talking about an EDA style content because it seems to be something that they're going for still. Because remember, we got EDA, ETA. What is the next Elite Deep, whatever the fuck it's going to be like, do you think?
Yeah, but you have to remember like the timings, right? It seems to be about 2 years in between, like a year to two in between, and like it's plus 100 levels on the old one. So like we're still not gonna see 1,000 for like another 7 years.
You
Like,
never
most
know,
likely.
man. They could pull a fast one and do something different. I mean, the fact
Yeah,
that
but
a lot of
in
missions
the
are scaling
opposite,
faster
right?
and faster, too, is the other thing.
But the opposite is true too. They could just be like, no, we're not scaling it higher, right? Like they could be like, oh, we're gonna stay at this. This is the cap now, like of levels for missions to start at, right? Like they could just be like that as well. Like they could do the reverse of what you just said.
They
But they just cap
obviously
it at
could, but
lowers.
then it would be just so fucking boring that people would start leaving faster and faster.
But that's the thing, right? Like, oh, Warframe right now seems to be in a state of, like, obviously there's content creators and like some people who like just like the gameplay flow enough to where they're willing to stick and play the same content over
Yeah,
and over
like,
because it's free to play and stuff.
People like
But then you
me,
have people
yeah.
who are seasonal. I call them seasonal friends that I have, where they literally only if the update interests them, and they join back for like 2 to 3, 4 weeks max, and then they leave. And then they come back maybe for a week. Next update, that's a follow up to the update they liked, and then they'll come back for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
next
and
update.
there's
They don't
nothing
play.
there's nothing wrong with that either, too. But the problem is if they keep making content like this that gets boring, you know, right? Eventually, all of those casual players that are always playing are gonna turn into those seasonal players. And if
Yeah,
the
like the
seasonal
seasonal
players keep
pool
being a
will
thing,
get bigger and bigger.
it keeps getting bigger and bigger, and eventually those seasonal players will just go away and never return, possibly, because they get too bored of what keeps getting added.
Yeah, and like that's why I hope like First Ascendant picks up its act and makes the mid early game more like better for the player.
I remember some
They
endurance
are really good
runners
at it.
getting banned, and spending months there arguing with the. Yeah, you're probably talking about the Baker TV situation with that one. That whole thing was fucking bullshit, I would say. That was really
Yeah,
stupid.
like that's just more the not knowing that the fucking pause feature existed, kind of like it seemed.
Well, it's
Like they
so dumb.
added
Like, how do you
pause-
forget that your game pauses when you pause it? Like, how do you forget that?
Yeah. Yeah, and then like you get punished for pausing too long of a
It
time
is.
for some
Yeah,
godforsaken.
it honestly sounds like an article that would have been written by The Onion if you were to tell me that. Like, player
Hey, the
gets
Onion
banned.
is starting to get really realistic. If you look at the old
Oh,
articles,
yeah.
most of them come true.
Oh yeah, they do. They do.
God.
Cool Warframe player gets banned in his video game for pausing it for multiple hours. Like, make that make
Yeah, like-
sense.
Yeah, it's just the case. Like, and I don't necessarily say like, oh, they should support the like endurance runners because they clearly don't. But I want them to just make endurance something you like, not that endurance. Because like the problem with endurance right now is it's literally 8 hours or Cascade. That's your two options, or it's Sim Warrior and Disruption.
Or you can
That's
also
your
do
options for level cap.
what's it called? Duviri Circuit too could technically be one, but that has like a bunch of asterisks connected to it.
Asterisks on asterisks on asterisks.
This also has been happening with Destiny players. They've beaten all the content and are like, hold on, where the fuck is Endgame? The sentiment just has been everywhere. Yeah.
Well, to be
Kind
fair,
of.
like Destiny at least has some stuff, right? Like more than Warframe. Like they have actual bossing,
Well-
they have actual rating, they have like actual stuff to do, and then they quote unquote end game.
I mean, Dark, you say that, but my brother, he was really big into Destiny. Like, he was one of the first people that got Destiny 1 back when it first came out, when he was like, I don't know, 11 or something at the time. It came out like 2014, I think. Now he doesn't even touch the game because he's like, I got no reason to come back to the game anymore, kind of thing, because none of the content interests me. And it's sad.
Well, that's
'cause
also
he
just a
used
case
to
of the
love
game
it.
being expensive. But like it's also a case of like if Warframe had like a fifth, a tenth of the end game that Destiny has, I wouldn't complain. Like for at least a couple of years, right? Like,
Oh, Alchemy,
like,
yeah.
it's the kind of
Alchemy's good. I like Alchemy. It's fun.
yeah,
I
but
don't
that's
mind that.
also a slog. Like that's a slog.
It is like it's long, but hey, at least it's nice and chill and somewhat difficult at times if the necromech shows up and shit. So it's not too
Yeah,
bad.
that's what I'm saying. Like, if endurance was simply shorter, like if you could get level cap in alchemy in 3 hours, right? Like 3 hours 30, like very consistently, right? Like skew the level scalings a bit.
To clarify, I
and
meant
make it
Destiny
quicker,
players
right?
that finish all of Warframe's content. Oh, like that. I mean, but both are kind of true at the end of the day. It's just that Warframe's way worse off. As an outsider,
Yeah.
Witch Queen seemed like the one interesting. I've said it many times because I played Beyond Light and Witch Queen and Lightfall. I think Witch Queen is like the best expansion they've made. Personally, it's
What was
so
the
good.
question?
It's about Destiny and the Witch Queen and stuff, and like I think that Witch Queen's
what was
best.
the question that was asked? Like the phrasing.
As an outsider, Witch Queen seemed like the one interesting expansion.
I think. I mean, I played a bit more than you did, probably, Sai. The thing is with Witch Queen, the campaign was peak.
It is.
The only problem that was there with the Witch Queen was that we did not get any new subclass. So it was kinda but I guess they made
Strand
up
got
with
moved into Lightfall.
with the story that was very, very good.
The story was awesome. Like, it was one of my favorite campaigns of like any like actual DLC. And if I could just buy it and keep it as its own standalone game, I would play it multiple times because it was really good. Like, I love that.
Like Destiny, like Destiny has some big issues with monetization, and also the fact that you can earn gear that you actually cannot use because you don't have DLC. Like they clog up the loot pool, which is like
no.
hilarious. Did they remove it?
No. Yeah, you cannot get gear anymore that you cannot use.
Oh, thank God! Because God, what a hilarious thing that was. Like the fact that I like literally tried this, Destiny 2, and I could get
because
stuff that
they
I couldn't
locked
equip
the
until I
ability
paid.
to get gear that you cannot use because they simply removed the possibility for you to get dragged into those missions.
I see.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
But it's like so stupid, right? Like the fact that because in Borderlands, right? Like Borderlands is a like co-op game, right? their DLCs, the way they did it is you cannot have anything drop if you have cooperative loot in like Borderlands 3 and stuff. You cannot have the DLC weapons drop unless it's like the dedicated drop, like the only drop that enemy has, or if it's like from a quest. But that's like the only time you will get an item that you cannot equip.
Let me see. I played Destiny.
Everything else would be like things you can use.
I played Destiny, but expansions are a bit too steep of a price for me, especially considering the possibility of them being taken away. That's the biggest reason why I didn't really pay for most of the expansions.
They said they're not going to do any more sunsetting, although I wouldn't trust Bungie on that because they have taken away certain things, not entirely, but like certain ways of getting stuff.
Even
also,
then,
they are
the fact that they
sunsetting
did it in the
seasons.
first place, I would.
Yeah.
It still keeps me away from doing it.
I mean, they
it's
did
like,
it twice.
It's like
They
paying...
did it once, they did it twice. They could do it a third and fourth time.
I mean,
like, they could just go back on
look
their
at it this
word.
way. It's like paying for... Imagine you paid for a car, right? Bungie, in the case of like the Red Ward stuff and the expansions, it's like paying for a nice, cool car to drive around. And then Ferrari comes up and takes it away, saying it needs to be repaired. And then you never get it back. That is... in my opinion, how it feels or looks like to me, and that's why
and then
I
it's
will
also
never
like,
buy
oh,
it.
you need. Yeah, and then it's also the case of like, oh, you need a car for each day of the week and every day of the month. You know, like
Yep. It's
like the amount
so
of the price on this. Like, let's face it, the First Descendants price is too big. Like, they should have adopted more of like World of Warcraft's model, where like the newest expansion is pay to get access early, and then like everything else is free, or maybe like has one package. I don't know. Like, the way I would play with Destiny actually would be if they had like a package which was all but the newest content. One buy purchase, it would keep getting things
there is a
added and
package
taken away.
that
and
Oh
allows
my
you-
god. Gremlin Stone says, what do you mean 100 gigabytes for a bare bones expansionless experience with a quarter of the content as Warframe? Not even.
Wait, I can look on Steam. I know there's a pack on
No, I mean
on
like a
console.
live pack that would just continually rotate, has new stuff get added, and like every time a new thing adds, the
yeah.
old newest thing
Oh.
gets added to that pack automatically. Like that kind of thing where it like cycles, so you would pay to get early access to the newest thing, but not like everything else.
So if you
As
want to
in,
get into D2 right now, it is the best time because
Every time I
or
hop-
at least on Steam.
Every time I hop
There's
into
a
Destiny
sale.
2 with my friends, they're like, oh, let's do this mission, and it's DLC locked for real.
like the problem, right, is just the case of like, even if you say, oh, it's the best time because it's cheaper, like it's still expensive, like in the long run. It's not like WoW where you pay one subscription and you get all content except the brand newest expansion, and that gets into your subscription fee and you get it for free
150
once the
gigs for the
newest thing comes
tutorial.
The thing is,
Real.
as a person that spent like a solid maybe 500 to 600 euros on that game,
So Steve,
yeah,
I'll drag
it's
you
a lot.
into the. So Steve, I'll drag you into the call, but I'm probably gonna wrap up the stream in the next few minutes.
Yeah.
There he is.
Well, to be fair, this is a very interesting conversation. But like, it's just a case of like, to wrap back into like Warframe more so, right? Like the problem that they have had, like, where they say, oh, we can't nerf players. Like, we don't need to be nerfed. Like, in fact, we need buffs. To be
I
fair.
think some stuff needs to be nerfed and some needs to be buffed. I think like both can be true at the
Look,
same time. It just depends.
all
It's
they
very
gotta
case
do-
by case dependent.
They gotta release a Siren heirloom to keep all the screamy wah-wahs happy.
Because like the thing is,
agree.
right? Like there's few frames that I would consider problems right now, right? Like if they say, like let's say, like level capping became possible as a form of endgame, right? Like simple, like just that, right? Not extra things to level cap, just like, oh, you can get to level cap a bit quicker, and it isn't that much of a hog to get there. Like, oh, no frames would really be an issue. Like, what frames would be problems? Like, it would be like
I don't think any could
the immortal
overperform.
frames, I guess.
I can think of quite a few that can underperform, but I can't think of any that would overperform. You know what I mean, right? Like none that would overshadow anybody.
Like the only thing would be like Ash would still be probably the best DPS, or at least close to it. And like Nyx would still be one of the better gun platforms because she is the best gun platform in any level of content.
Depending on what type of enemies you'd be contending with, Limbo would be pretty good too. But even then, that's more of a mechanics-based thing than like just straight power.
Yeah, so it's like the case of like
When
every
I take
frame
away their
is
precious invulnerability.
yeah, like it's just a case of like if they simply like enabled it, it would be enough. Like they didn't, they wanted like after that they would actually be able to look to buff us, right? Like because if level capping became like an okay means of getting a challenge into us, right? Then we could look to like buff armor, buff health tanking to high levels. Because right now there's no reason for them to look at armor or health because
No.
4,000 levels is playable with it current.
Not.
Like
No,
with 2K
I would say
easily, right?
I would say 1,000, 2,000. Okay, yeah, depending on the build and depending on what you use.
You get to 2K without any problems. Past that, it's when you can maybe have some problems depending on the frame. But even then, there's
I
a
got
lot
to
of
level
frames you
7
can do
frames.
it.
I got a level 7,000 with Anaris.
Yeah, like for example, Inaris is another example of a frame that doesn't actually have inherent DR, but he still can do well enough just because of his pool of health and stuff. So like, the thing with like health tanking and stuff is like the only real problem of health tanking is when some frames can't, when they should be able to get to 4K plus with health alone. Like Nidus can, but that's because he death gates.
He
like,
has the
permanently.
sack mechanic. Yeah, that's what.
Like he doesn't even have good enough. Like he is like in the worst of the spots because he has a
Thank you
horrible
very
armor
much,
amount,
Sam.
horrible energy amount, and a horrible health amount. He's literally a death gate bot in high levels, like
Pretty much.
really high levels.
Pretty
Like even if
much.
you have 300,000 health somehow from Parasitic Link, he's still very meh. So like it's in the case of like he would actually like be one of the ones who wouldn't like need like armor changes, health changes for high level. But he doesn't need it if we're never going to see level 4K until 100 years has passed if they don't speed things up. Because like in the current pace of the game and how we're getting updates, it would be 120 odd years before we see level 4K. So like it is just a case of like it's either that or just buff enemy spawns. Like just flat out just buff them a bit.
They just
They
need to
tweak with
buff
enemy spawns,
enemies in
tweak with extra
general.
spawns.
We need stronger enemies.
Well, buffing enemies is a scary thing because it's a horde shooter, right? So if you buff one basic enemy, all basic enemies that you now fight will be buffer, right?
Make it
What would be
rare
better
and-
is, yeah, like making more the Desiccants, right? Like Desiccants is a great example of like an enemy that works in Warframe really well. It has damage attenuation, so it has a guaranteed amount of health that it will need to take. There's ways to obviously one-shot it, but it would be less practical in normal hoarding. And it would also like be someone who could actually kill you really quickly, like with high damage, and like looks at you and only you, and so you either have to deal with everything around them and ignore them, or just focus them while you
Or we
get
could get
hoarded
Jean
around.
Grenier, who's when he spawns in, he takes away all your guns and starts using them against you.
Yeah.
I don't think believe anyone in the community is really good enough to balance the game. Yeah, I can't think of it. Like even I'm not that good at understanding how to balance the game myself.
Yeah, but like also the fact of balance is like we are able to have we can always cheapen out on the balance. If we, as long as the player ends up being the strongest of the two, they can go however extreme they want with the enemies because they could always just buff us to compensate.
Yes,
Because,
but
like,
like
They can overshoot a buff on us. They can't overshoot a buff on the enemy, if that makes sense.
no, I disagree because the problem that I think with Warframe's power scaling as it is right now is that we have all this power, right, but no enemies to really use it on that can challenge that power. You know what I mean, right? Like
yeah,
not
that's what I'm
necessarily
saying. Like they could.
not necessarily overshooting in the sense of like if we're talking about like a 1 to 2% more powerful than us, and I think that's kind of a stupid logic. If you're talking about like doubly as powerful as us, yeah, I could see that being a problem. You know.
Like it's the case of where like we could always just add like we could always add a desiccant to like the Grenier corpse, all of that, right? Like just a big meatball that do big damage to the Tenno and only the Tenno, and they ignore everything else and going after us specifically. Like that alone, like even if it's a strong enemy, they could just buff our damage, buff our survivability, whatever they want after the fact, to then match it. That way, it would still technically kill us, but it wouldn't be it would
I
be hard for
think-
it to kill us.
I think Nev has said before, everything needs to be nerfed to the ground first before actually trying to deduce how one would balance the game. I mean, I don't know. I don't really
That's
agree
the-
with a whole lot of things about Nev, but I'm not sure if I agree with that one completely. Because the problem with that is that, yes, that would be ideally how you would go, but then that would force all of the players to probably leave the game because then everybody sucks at the end of it.
No, it's more than just that, because what Nev suggested in that like, I believe what like Nev uses as a suggestion here is like nerfing everything to the ground is like making an even playing field. We don't need an even playing field. Like, we're a power fantasy game. We can take the liberties of just buffing the frame to hell and like buffing ourselves to hell and back if we really need it. They could just set the enemies they want. If they want higher enemy spawns, they could do that. And even if it's a hard thing to do for us current, they could just buff us. Like, flat
I
out
think
buff
they
us.
should just
They-
tone down the survivability.
No, because the problem with toning down survivability alone is that just means we're more glass cannony. Right? Like, that's the problem current, is like we don't have enough enemies to where we see them if we play for damage, right? Like even my Vasker alone, right, can clear tile sets with ease. What we really ideally need is an enemy that somehow has higher target aggro for our companions, so the companions would focus them, and they would only focus us, the player, so they would ignore all the objectives, and they would just be big meatball with big damage.
I just
As
want
the
more team
hunters and
synergy
force,
between Warframes be encouraged, but knowing the player base, they want a single player game, not really a multiplayer. Kind of ironic, yeah. Kind of ironic. when it comes
Yeah,
to
like
that.
it was encouraged. Like, the game was marketed as an MMO, and it ended up being like literally just a single player game with co-op mechanics.
Yeah,
Uh,
pretty much, yeah.
like the big issue with like the type of thinking that is going around, right, with exactly that, is just Warframe is in a spot where like they have enemy diversity, but they lack the fundamental tank. Like, I'm going to use a bad term, but it's correct in this context. A tank. We need like a desiccant, someone who just takes our time. Because if it takes our focus, at least for just a moment, it just has to be for like 10 seconds, if even 5, maybe. But like with bad gear, maybe it would be like 30 seconds, or if us in a solo, maybe it would be like 25 seconds, right? Like, if it just bought time for the enemies to cycle us, like, it just needs to buy time for enemies to go out of their spawner room, group up, and join into a fight against us. Like, that's literally
No.
all we need.
Make all Exodus units in
I-
every level 1999 or level 9999.
No, because that would be a wrong way, because Xmas wouldn't actually do this. Because if
Well,
we just say, like,
it's just a
made
joke.
Xmas butchers, right?
Darku, it's a joke.
Yeah, but
It's a
I'm gonna
joke.
take this to like be more like further expand on the point. Is like, I'm thinking more of like buffing the enemy spawn rates, and then say like, or where they can spawn. Maybe make it more generous to spawn near us, even if we might see them pop into existence sometimes. Because if they just had enemies more quickly go back into the fight from their spawn point to us, like even quicker, we would feel a horde sense similar to 99.9 specifically, right? Like, because of how many twists and turns they use in the layout, enemies are basically a single turn away from us and can spawn nearly instantly to fight us again.
Dark, how the
So
fuck
let's
did you
just-
just talk in 2 times speed in real life? And do you mean what acolytes were supposed to do?
Acolytes failed, and no, I want something that's more common than acolytes. Acolytes are too far and few between. The
You know,
acolytes are more just
Rigor
a
tried
duel.
making the tube man, but we killed him.
Alright. I think
Yeah.
I think I'm probably gonna get going now. It's 2 hours and 30 minutes into this.
I've never heard fucking 2 times speed in real life.
That's funny. But anyway, this was a fun time, Darku. Thank you for the for the Cascade attempt. It was fun. It was nice.
Yeah, next time. I'm
problem.
going to bring us to level cap next time.
We'll probably get a
I
fourth
figure out
person
something
another
on my
build to
help
soundboard
out.
now. Thanks to you.
And thank you everybody for stopping by. It was a pleasure. The little Valkyr critique video that I'm doing will be out in the next couple of days, like hopefully 3, maybe 4. Then after that, the modding guide will be in sight, kind of like as Albert the Trotty cheesily said about Tau. And with that, I'll see everybody later. Have a good one. Bye.